bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Well, hello everybody. Welcome. A happy Sunday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode and live stream of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically talk about all the things going on in entertainment news and gossip. And sometimes we may get a little political on the show, as if y'all been watching the last couple of episodes, you already know how we do over here. So yeah, anything that's going on in the world of entertainment that's trending on social media and beyond, we chat about it and we kiki about it on this here show. So before we get started with today's show, and it is a lot of topics we're going to be getting into, please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and also smash that notification button so that way, when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And we got a lot of tea to spill, so we're going to talk about this record-smashing opening from Deadpool and Wolverine. And we're also probably going to, because it's like, I can't give my overall review of Deadpool and Wolverine without me spoiling some things. So I'll let you know when I'm going to throw some spoilers and stuff in there. So I don't want people trying to cuss me out and windmill me for spilling tea when y'all didn't see the thing yet. So, and then we're going to talk about the big announcement from the MCU yesterday where Robert Downey Jr. was revealed that he's going to be Dr. Doom. And I have thoughts. Also, we're getting a sequel to one of the grossest and craziest horror films since Art the Clown came on the scene. In the Violent Nature apparently is getting a sequel, and they show like some photos or whatever another. I guess that I didn't. I was like, damn, they started filming the movie already. But I think it was just like little stills of ideas or something they have for the upcoming sequel. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Ben Affleck, I guess the marriage is over. But we've been talking about it so damn much between Ben and Hannaford. Well, apparently he bought himself a $20.5 million mansion over in the Pacific Palisades, and so it seemed like he done with Miss Hannaford. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, speaking of being over, Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky, yeah, while he's off laying low and spreading it wide with some Russian model and actress that I ain't never damn heard of, and Kyle over here getting her box licked by a female country singer. They've been hit with a $6,000 tax lien because somebody ain't been paying their taxes. Now, speaking of, things that's going on, Justin Timberlake's attorney wants us to believe that he was not drunk the night his ass was put under arrest. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, a former piece of shit that used to be over there at The View, Elisabeth Hasselbeck. Apparently, she's throwing shade at The View for supporting Kamala Harris. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Blair One Underwood is opening up about his stint being on Sex and the City, as the boyfriend of Miranda, but he said that he was actually approached for an earlier role a couple of seasons prior, and I remember the damn episode he was talking about because it's past the season that I watched. So we're going to talk about all of that, and then the whole racial fetishization of Black men. That was a topic that they were going to explore on Sex and the City. So and Oprah and Gail are addressing those Lady Lick-a-Lot box rumors. Because, it's been going on since the dawn of time. People been saying that Oprah and Gail are sisters. So they're trying to debunk the rumors. Now, on top of that, Elon Musk's trans daughter is throwing shade at her estranged father, and Grimes is actually coming to her defense. So she's windmilling in her corner. Plus, we got a lot of Drag Race news. So Willam did finally tell his side of the story of being kicked out of DragCon. So we have the clip. It's probably gonna be a long one. I was gonna use footage from because I listened to it on Spotify on Friday, but since it's up on the YouTube, aka YouTube, YouTube is entertainment too, in my opinion. So since it was up on the YouTube, we are going to play the full clip and y'all can sit and watch it if y'all have not watched the episode yet. So he gets right to it in the beginning. We're going to talk about it. Plus, Detox is pissed off, and I knew this was coming because she did say if a certain queen didn't win on All Stars, that we rioted, and Miss Mamas didn't win. So she threw shade at the All Stars 9 results. And then we're speaking of All Stars, we're going to talk about the rumored All Stars 10 cast because the list came out. I've been telling y'all names for the past couple of weeks already. But yeah, so we're going to talk about that. Plus, Morphine is issuing a health update after her fatal car crash because I told y'all she broke a jaw and all that stuff. I don't think all that got out in the media, but a friend of mine who's close to the situation, told me the tea. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. And yeah, today also, speaking of horror movies, I am going to go see Sleepaway Camp later on tonight. The show was at 7:30, so I'm excited. But, I was late, forget per usual, but I had a legitimate reason. So I make my own iced coffee. So I had to run into the kitchen real quick and just refill my container, my cup. And I went to the store earlier. I didn't feel like making breakfast. It was too hot outside, and I was like, I don't feel like cooking. So I just ordered some breakfast, ran over to the deli to go pick it up, had them make me a iced coffee. I usually drink it black with nothing in it. Every now and again, I'll throw a little creamer in if I'm making it at home. But if I'm out in the street or wherever, I drink it black. I do macchiatos. I don't do full on all the whipped creams and all that other stuff. First of all, that's fattening. So I'm trying to watch my figure, bitch. After you turn 40, it's harder to lose weight the older you get. So I gotta watch what I put in this old system of mine. So I went and I had to go run into the kitchen, and it's I make my own iced coffee at home. Actually, take the Bustelo, I put it in the thing, make it hot, throw the ice in a pitcher, and then I just let it sit. I pour the whole coffee when it's done in the pitcher, put it in the fridge, and if I need some iced coffee, I just throw a little ice up in the situation, throw a little and then pour the coffee in there. And if I want to add the creamer, I add the creamer. If I don't, then I drink it black. But I think I get that from my father, because my father loves. I remember when I was growing, he loves black coffee. He still drinks it black. And everybody else I know, like my mother, she's also a coffee drinker, but she don't do it black. She got to have her creamer. Me, I could just do it either or. So I think I get that from him. But anyway, so let me hit my banners. And I see, oh, you said, oh, hey, Robert, how you doing? Oh, you said, he said didn't see Deadpool yet. Well, look, leave when I start talking about it, and then come back when I'm don't leave. He said, did you see no, I didn't see it, because what I need to do is I haven't been on my TikTok. Like this morning, it's just been hectic. I've been so busy with stuff, and there was a lot going on, and I have not really now I just went on my TikTok. The shit's all loud. And let's see. Oh, you did send me something. Wait, was it the Obama's phone Harris? Was that it? Or was it another video? Because apparently it said it wasn't there. It's not there anymore. So I have no idea. But I'm gonna have to check all that other stuff later. But anyway, so she did, but the people's is mad. And a friend of mine who is real close with Angeria has been doing a lot of photo shoots with her, and also told me some tea that Angeria, in my no shade, but I believe she's the only one that actually took a photo and wasn't supposed to reveal this. But I guess now the show's over, I can say something. So Angeria did a photo shoot with her actual charity. So maybe deep down she knew she was gonna win. And she said she didn't want to get out because she don't think the other girls was going to do it, which they probably didn't. But yeah, I do think, and I'll break it all down when we get to that topic. Oh, he said, didn't see Deadpool yet, so I'm leaving. When you get a chance, thoughts on the idea of Toxic Avenger being unreleasable? People are saying they're not telling the truth. Who's not telling the truth? You want to know something? I actually watched the original Toxic Avenger last night. That movie was so bad. It was a horrible ass movie. First of all, you could not get away with the shit back then that you can get away with now. There's a scene in that movie where they're literally doing some Grand Theft Auto. That's probably where they got the inspiration for Grand Theft Auto. Because there was a scene during where they go and they start they were talking about they were going to run over using racial slurs, the N-word. They used the S-word regarding Latinos. They were saying all kinds of stuff. They even used the K-word to mention Jews, rhymes with bike. So they were saying, I'm like, damn. See, now back in the 80s and shit, you can get away with a whole lot of stuff. And then it was one scene, they ran over this little boy on a bike, and then they backed up and ran over his head. I said, oh, hell no. First of all, you already know in a Gen Z world, they are not going to be able to get away with the stuff that was in that damn movie. That movie was problematic. And then on top of that, it was like, while I enjoyed some of this stuff, everybody's acting in that movie was terrible. I'm like, are y'all doing this shit on purpose? I was just wondering at some point. But I don't know. I need more information and stuff, and coming from legitimate sources rather than some YouTuber or TikTokers saying that this is what's going on behind the scenes. So I really need more information. I need the trades to come out and speak out on this. You said I tagged you in the alleged look. Oh yeah, because I may have to look. I think that video. I think if you sent me something on TikTok when I was looking, it says it's not there anymore. So if you can find it, send it back to me. But yeah, Willam alluded to this whole thing about the lawsuit and the wild producers are under because there was some type of violation that was going on behind the scenes. Where they said that there were queens, don't necessarily know who it was, probably got big, and a bunch of others. But I don't, maybe I shouldn't just be throwing names out there. But they did say it wasn't Chanel. They said it wasn't Nina, and they said another person. I can't remember who. So there was like three girls they cut out, but they said all the other ones was probably like. But I don't know. I don't see Plastic Tiara being an issue. I don't see. I mean, Vanjie, is ratchet on camera and stuff, but I think she would. I would hope that she would have, because I don't know her personally. I would hope that she would have some kind of poise or decorum or whatever. I do believe that Gottmik could be a nuisance behind the scenes, especially when there's been so many stories about her nasty attitude with fans and things of that nature, especially with her hanging around what's the one that she does that So Gorge show with her. I don't even care enough to remember her damn name. Valachowski. Funny now. I said I didn't care to remember it because I drew a blank. That shit comes in my head. So, but they were talking about that there was people peeing in containers and bottles and things on set, and the producers had to get rid of it. I'm like, y'all don't be letting these motherfuckers go to the bathroom? I understand y'all got long takes and stuff with the show, but bitch, if I got to go, I don't give a fuck. I'm leaving set. I'm going to the bathroom, and it is what it is, especially if you got a small bladder. So yeah, there's been some stuff that was going on, and Willam alluded to that, and Willam also said that she believes that is the reason why she was kicked out of DragCon, and she explains all of it when we get to that video later on in the show. So she breaks it on down, and I love the fact that Alaska was like, I'm gonna just sit here and just let Miss Mama spill all the tea and call it that. But anyway, let's get to the show. But yeah, I mean, I heard about the Toxic Avengers stuff, but I need more information. But anyway, let's get to the show and let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. So congratulations to them. Even though we already heard that they said there was going to be that there were rumors stating that it would gross in the over $200 million, which I know there was some pundits that gagged. That was like, no, I can't see an R-rated movie doing that. And I think a lot of people seem to forget that we're not in a time of what was back then. I feel like the times have shifted, the times have changed, and things are moving in a different direction. So the way that people look is, oh yeah, R-rated movies can't make a whole lot of money. It depends on the franchise. It depends on the film. And I feel like because of the success of Deadpool and Wolverine, that Hollywood will take bigger risks in regards of greenlighting more R-rated superhero movies. Because to be honest, as someone who is an adult, I would love to see comic book movies that are geared towards towards me and towards adults. Everything ain't for kids. I understand that Hollywood is always so hungry. We gotta hit every market. We gotta get the PG-13 because we need the little kids. We need this. And like, first of all, do you not know parents? Because there's parents that be bringing their kids to R-rated movies. I have friends. I mean, it wasn't me. My parents were very strict when it came to like the type of films we were. They would like let little things slip in every now and again. But for the most part, I know people. One of my friends who's a film director always brought his kids because he was raised that way, where he got to go see Scorsese movies as a kid. So, and the heavy stuff with Scorsese, with Taxi Driver and Raging Bull and all those type of movies back in the day. He wasn't making no kid films. So if you kind of explain things to kids in a way where they understand, I feel like they can handle a lot more than you realize. But do I think Deadpool and Wolverine was for kids? Not really, because them sex pegging jokes and all the other stuff that was going up in there, I was like, if you're not ready to explain to your kids what pegging is, then I don't think you need to take your children to the theater to see this movie. But overall, so basically, according to the Hollywood Reporter, they're saying the following. They said, the Merc with the Mouth is back in a big way. Now, director Sean Levy's threequel, Deadpool and Wolverine, delivered a massive $96 million on Friday at the domestic box office. That's actually when I went to go see it. The sixth biggest opening day of all time after edging out the final Harry Potter pick, which came in at $91.1 million, not adjusted for inflation. The Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman superhero pick is assured of scoring the biggest R-rated opening of all time. The first Deadpool is the current crown holder at $133.7 million. The only question now is how high it will climb. Disney and Marvel are predicting 195 million to 205 million, something no one thought possible for an R-rated pick. That's well ahead of pre-opening projections of 160 million to 175, which are already huge numbers and would mark the top openings ever for Reynolds, the mastermind behind the Deadpool franchise, Levy and Jackman. And the funny thing is, it's funny how they kept going for 160, 175, but I remember hearing other predictions were in the 200s. So I don't know where they was coming from. Maybe y'all wasn't paying attention, but there was numbers that I remember hearing that people were saying that was going to go in like it was going to gross at least over $200 million. And it's the first R-rated movie released by Disney and puts Kevin Feige's Disney-owned Marvel back in the driver's seat. Now, it is in the driver's seat now, but child, you better hope and pray y'all can maintain that driver's seat, especially with this news about y'all having Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. I'm like, let me hold my composure on that for it as well. But I guess you could tell my tone. I'm not that excited about it. And I'll tell you why. So congratulations on them in regards of, this whole Deadpool and Wolverine making all its money. It was well deserved. Now let's get into the spoilers. So I will say I went to go see the movie on Friday. I already had Sailor Mermaid, if you're watching this video, I don't need you to kill me because I know we were supposed to go see the film, but I had my tickets though before we had this conversation. So of us going. So, but we can still go again, whenever you're free or whatever. But anyway, so I went to go see the film on Friday, went to an 11 o'clock show, so I didn't even get to go to the gym like I wanted to go. And I have to say, when I saw the movie, I'm so glad that in so many ways, that I stayed away from spoilers, that I stayed away from social media and the internet and all that other stuff, because I feel like if I would have gone on social media and watched all the damn trailers and all this other stuff, I would have been upset because I feel like y'all revealing too much. Y'all already got my ticket. I'm already going to see the movie. I don't need you to tell me so much about the film. So when I went in, I definitely enjoyed it. The opening sequence was funny, where Ryan Reynolds was doing it. Then the opening of how the Marvel music plays or whatever, and he's like singing along with it. That part was funny. And then you see him, fighting the TBA, the group of people that was coming to try to capture him. And then of course we had to rewind back as to why they were coming after him. And then he's like, first of all, the fight choreography in this movie was amazing. Everything literally looked like a comic book come to life. It looked literally like a graphic novel. I love the idea of him killing people with, okay. First of all, it was like when they did the whole thing with Logan, when he dug up Logan's body from, the end of Logan where he dies, and he digs up the body, and he's like, you can't be dead because of the whole adamantium thing. And then he's literally there, and all you see is skin and bones, but it's all skeleton, but it's adamantium. And then basically the TVA comes to capture him because he dug up his grave. And then he goes and takes his bones and he starts killing members of the TVA to the music of NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, which was hilarious, by the way. And then, I know a lot of people saying the plot was thin in some sort of way or whatever, but I realized yeah, in some ways I felt like the plot was a little bit thin. There was a lot of things that just didn't make sense to me, or maybe it's I'm not deep within the comic book nerddom to have gotten everything. But for the most part, the core of what Deadpool and Wolverine was about for me, same theme, I guess, is where, Vin Diesel does when it comes to them Fast and the Furious franchises. It was about family. It was about that group of friends who were like family to him and wanting to matter and wanting to be part of a group. Like he wanted to be part of the Avengers. And then he goes with the meeting with oh my God, what's his name? The one that used to be the chauffeur that basically took over now I'm forgetting names. Happy, that was his name. So he goes and has the meeting with him and all this other stuff, and then he's trying to be a part of the Avengers, but it's they're they want to matter to the people. It's not about being self-serving in that sort of way. So he has to kind of find this. He has to find his own way. I just feel like in a lot of ways, also the whole thing of him being banished to oh my God, this is why I should take notes. Because it's the little junkyard area or whatever, and then him and Wolverine goes there. And I also liked the idea of the different variants of Wolverines, because after is this Wolverine's dead, he's got to travel through time or whatever to find, or the multiverse to find a Wolverine. And I liked all the meta stuff. They literally went back to the original comic, which is Wolverine is short. Everybody was because I remember when Hugh Jackman first came on the scene and was the Wolverine. People were upset about that. Oh, that's not accurate. He's not tall. He's a short guy. And then they put it in the movie and we're all laughing. Also, I did love the cameo of Henry Cavill being one of the Wolverines. And the fight sequences and stuff between Deadpool and Wolverine at some point, I actually loved that fight sequence where it was like they was big out in the open, and then it was another scene where they fight inside the van, which is like very much close quarters and contained. I did love the different fighting styles and how they were just fucking each other up, blood everywhere, and it's just like that was just awesome to me. And I love that. Now, as far as like Cassandra Nova goes, I really feel like she kind of just typical MCU villain, which is like I wanted more from her character. I just felt like she was kind of just thrown in, and they did allude to the whole thing about her being Charles Xavier's twin and how they try to kill each other in the womb and all this other stuff. So um I did like how they played into that. I also liked the meta jokes where there was a lot of poking fun at the MCU and being at their low point, and how they said that Wolverine came in to the franchise during a low point in the MCU, because you already know we've been upset about phase 4 and 5. I love the joke where, okay, so I already told y'all we doing spoilers. So when we finally get to the people that was in it, so the Blade appearance from Wesley Snipes, fucking loved it, because it was just like I wasn't even expecting him to be in there. We know about the X-23 thing because that was spoiled in the trailer, but the only reason why the X-23 was spoiled and I found this out is because Kevin Feige said initially he didn't even want her to be revealed in the trailer. The only reason why they revealed X-23 was going to have a scene in the movie is because she wanted to go to the premiere. But then again, I'm like, actors show up at the premieres all the time. You could have just been like, oh, I'm at the premiere because I'm here to support my boy Hugh Jackman. That's what I would have did. You could have still faked it and lied about the whole thing of why you were there. They'd be like, why are you here? Oh, I'm here to support Hugh Jackman because we're friends, or whatever the case is. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to show moral support. You didn't have to. I feel like that was just a BS thing. We had to reveal it because Daphne Keene wanted to go to the premiere. Y'all could lie. Hollywood lies all the damn time. Just like the other day, y'all lied about the Russo brothers not directing the next two Avengers movies. Come to find out, Hall H, as we said was going to happen, they were revealed to be directing both movies. And we'll get into that in the next topic. But yeah, so okay, so we had Blade, we had Channing Tatum as Gambit, which, you know, that's fan service right there, because we've been wanting Channing Tatum to show up as Gambit for a long time. First of all, y'all did him justice. I do agree he was a little chunky in the role, whatever, because maybe it's because it's been a while since Channing Tatum's been hitting the gym and been on our screens. So he did look a little chunky monkey, but I didn't really notice. I like the fact that he did the Cajun accent and they threw the jokes and they were just like, I can't understand. You need to come with subtitles. Like, what the hell are you saying? Who's your dialect coach? Like, there was a lot of jokes in there. I love the idea of how they even poked fun at Hugh Jackman's divorce from his wife, Deborah. They did that. Elektra showing up. Yes, Jennifer Garner. I think we already knew Jennifer Garner was going to be in the movie because that was spoiled like while they were filming the movie, that she had showed up on set. She showed up, and then they made a joke about Ben Affleck at her expense, and she went along with it. Like, I just love how everybody was so game in this situation. And he even broke, and there was even a point where he broke the fourth wall was broken a lot in the movie. And I love the fact that we had Deadpool even made a joke about, I'm telling Blake, like as in Blake Lively. So he would even make jokes about his own wife, who also, we had Lady Deadpool in the film. This is what irritated me. So y'all had all this shit going on with Taylor. Is it Taylor Swift? Is it Madonna? Is it, Blake Lively? We don't know who the fuck it is because Lady Deadpool never takes a mask off. So we still don't know, even though from the voice, I think it was her, but they never revealed it. And then they had like the 1,000 different Deadpools with different multiverses that Deadpool and Wolverine had to fight towards the end while Cassandra Nova was trying to suck up the world or whatever. I don't know. It's just, you already know. When it comes to like the world domination plot shit, I tune out. But I will say for the most part, for me, I enjoyed the jokes. The jokes were hilarious. I laughed so many damn times in this movie, I can't even keep count. The action sequences were awesome. And I will say this, the Like a Prayer sequence, because yes, the song is used not only in the trailer, but in the movie as well. During that same exact shot where you see them kind of walking, and they're fighting all the different Deadpools. They're doing that too, like a prayer. And then at the end, when they're trying to, I guess, save the timeline and all this other stuff, and they're trying to stop Cassandra Nova, Like a Prayer was remixed. Like they used different vocalists or whatever. It sounds more like a choir. Like that scene, it was like an emotional beat for me. And I was like, this is working. I'm starting to get a little choked up. So during that scene, because they're like, at Deadpool and Wolverine are going to sacrifice themselves and they're doing it to Like a Prayer, it was hilarious, but also heartwarming. So doing all that. And then also on top of that, if he goes and stole that time ring thingy, whatever, from Cable, remember when Cable had that in the second one? And he did that because he wanted to bring Vanessa back. I felt like Vanessa, also Morena Baccarin, shout out to her. I love me some Morena Baccarin. I felt like her character was underused in this role. I mean, in this film, she's always been sort of like a focal point in the previous two movies, but in this one, she kind of felt like she was tossed by the wayside. There was more or less that it just felt to me that Deadpool was trying to find so many ways to find, to have. I mean, we know he's pansexual, but it seemed like I was just waiting for the sex scene to happen between these two at one point, because the way that Deadpool was flirting with him throughout the movie, and the gay jokes and all the pegging and all that other stuff that was going on, and oogling, or is it ogling? Um, Hugh Jackman's body, which, shout out to him. That is a man in his 50s, mid 50s, who's got the body of a 20-year-old. I'm like, bless him for being able, whatever his training regimen is, the working out, the way he eats or whatever, God bless him, because I don't think any human being at that age, unless it's for a movie role, could be that disciplined in getting that body look like that. Like, I can imagine he probably was, and I can't even imagine what that would be like to have to really be that disciplined at that age, to have that perfect body and be able to maintain that. So kudos to him, because the body was on point. And I love the fact that, yeah, we had Deadpool where he was being silly or whatever, and then you have Wolverine with his deadpanness and very much just cussing like a sailor and that sort of thing. So that was down. And yeah, I did love, like I said, the cameos. Oh, there was another cameo I forgot. So we got to talk about Chris Evans. When he came in, everybody was like, yeah, oh, well, shit, Captain America's back. How the fuck did he end up in the Void? That's the name of the video. I don't know how I forgot the name of the Void. So he ended up, because that's the way they sent everybody who's like ostracized, whatever the case is. So Sabretooth is there. And that scene was funny when he's like trying to coach, when Deadpool's trying to coach Wolverine on how to take out Sabretooth, who, of course, is his brother. And he kind of does like this one move, basically takes his head off, and then he holds up the head and does his Furiosa joke. I can't tell you how I laughed so hard during that scene. And then all the other cameras. So Toad was in it because he was in the original movie. And then, of course, I said we had, what was it? We had X-23, we had Gambit, we had Elektra. We also had, like I said, Chris Evans and Blade. I forgot to mention him again. And of course, because I love the whole Blade thing, because it's like, oh, wait a minute, y'all got Wesley Snipes here, so he and Ryan Reynolds really don't hate each other, because remember the story behind the scenes of Blade Trinity. So I love the fact that they brought him in because that whole situation worked. Where it's like, okay, no hard feelings. I would have liked to have seen Blade get more to do. And it kind of makes me wonder, I was like, well, damn, maybe y'all could have made another Blade movie with Wesley Snipes. But it also made me feel bad because Blade is going through its troubling situations now in regards of, them not, with all the behind the scenes stuff, them trying to get the script right. So seeing that, but then Chris Evans coming up in there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, how the fuck did Captain America get back? Because he's old. Bitch. He was Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four. That shit was hilarious. They said he's gonna say it. And then when he goes flame on, I think the whole audience just went out and just burst out into like laughs, applause. We lost our shit. And then it's like he's using this flame to go at Pyro, who also was in a movie from X-Men. I felt like they wasted him in The Last Stand. I did love him a bit in X2, but X-Men The Last Stand, I'm glad he finally got his costume. He got to have his art. And that's another thing I've noticed too, that a lot of the characters who were in shitty films got their just due in Deadpool and Wolverine. So I think that's what I loved about the film. So say what y'all want, the cameos were used perfectly, and then he like tries to use his fire against Pyro, but Pyro is powerful. So he started to suck out his fire or whatever, and then then what Deadpool did to get freaking Chris Evans' character, well, to get him dead, I was like, you asshole. Like, he was just irritating me throughout the whole movie. But overall, I want to say this. I probably forgot some things. This is just me coming off the top of my head with stuff in regards to, because I didn't write nothing down. I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was funny. Yeah, the plot wasn't all the way perfect or whatever the case was. I was a bit underwhelmed by, even though I think the actress who played Cassandra Nova did a phenomenal job. And I think she kind of gave us a hybrid of James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart in this play of this evil, sinister type character. And she definitely did a phenomenal job in the part. But I just feel like I wanted more from her. I wanted her to be fleshed out. I wanted her to be like, I wanted there to be more stakes, and I didn't feel like there was enough. It was, I think maybe what it was just too much going on in the film, and there was a lot of meta jokes that they were focusing too much on that and not enough on tightening up the plot a little bit. But overall, I say it's entertaining. I enjoyed it. If go out and definitely see this movie because it is worth every penny. Now, am I gonna go and see this like 3 or 4 times? No, but if it showed up on Disney Plus tomorrow, and if it ended up, where I could purchase it at the end in 30 days on, one of the on what is it, Prime Video or whatever the case is, I'll definitely buy the movie and watch it. Like I would do that. But as far as like going to the movies, because the movie, first of all, I went to see it in Dolby, which you already know that ticket alone is damn near $30. And then I went and bought concessions. That was damn near $30. I got like these little, because I don't know if they do it at all AMCs, but the AMC that I go to, I got these little burgers, these little mini burgers and fries, and I had like a large soda. So that cost me damn near $30. So the concessions and shit is expensive. Like y'all out of control. And I had to eat that because I didn't have anything. Like I literally got up because I worked the night before. I worked a AJR concert. And then the next day I had to get up really early. I got home late, but then I had to get up really early because I had the early show for Deadpool and Wolverine. So I didn't really have time to like eat or anything. So I had to like get concessions as soon as I got to the theater. That was my breakfast. So I say all that to say, I enjoyed the film. It is entertaining. You will not be disappointed. Even if you're someone who's like really nitpicky in regards to like plot and story and all other stuff, you'll definitely have a good time at the theater with this film. So I say all this to say for those of you who have seen it and didn't mind the spoiler, because I know what some people's like, I'll come back when it's over. What did you guys think of Deadpool and Wolverine? What were your favorite parts? What parts do you think should have been a little more tightened or whatever the case is? Whatever your thoughts are on this film, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so speaking of comments, we have comments. You said, I think Madonna made a mistake not adding like a prayer on the soundtrack. I do hear people are including it, but yeah, I do think it was a mistake because when I saw the track list, I'm like, wait, why is like a prayer not in there? Because I feel like the way that they remix it, that's probably what Sean Levy meant when he was like, well, we had to go in and change some things up and put it in what part of the movie we were going to put it, which makes sense as to why Madonna showed up at the premiere and you had members of NSYNC that were at the premiere because their music was used in the film. I would have been like, Avril Lavigne should have been there too because they used one of her songs, but then again, Avril is on tour, so she didn't have time to just be taking days off to show up at a movie premiere at Lincoln Center in New York, which a friend of mine was telling me he was supposed to work it. But yeah, I do agree. They should have added that to the soundtrack. So people out there, if you ripped it or got that or you heard it from the movie and you're really good with musicianship and y'all could remix it and make it work into whatever y'all are doing, I'd say kudos to y'all. Now, there's some artists that do that. They'll be like, "Oh, we heard this version of our song that was a mashup or whatever the case was." AJR, I think, said that when I did their show the other day. They were like on Friday. They were like, "Yeah, wait, whatever, doesn't matter." um, they said, "Oh, we heard this remix that somebody did of ours. I think they said it was on TikTok or YouTube, one of the social medias." And they were like, "And we like this so much that we incorporated it into our show." So people out here using it, and I appreciate artists who are like that. It's like, we heard a version of our song that someone took the time to do, and we were just like, you know what? We're going to incorporate it into our thing, and hopefully they don't be like, well, we want our cointadas because you using something of ours. But anyway, he said Desperately Seeking Susan was supposed to be rated R with F bombs everywhere, but Madonna audience made the decision to pull F bombs out. I mean, the movie still works without the F-bombs in it. It wouldn't have affected the album re-release. True. Like I said, Robert, that's because Madonna is just starting out and her fan base was little girls and teens and parents wouldn't have taken the kids. Yeah, that's true too. Is that, you know what, in the beginning of Madonna's career, people seem to forget she was sort of like that really cool chick that everybody wanted to dress like, and she was just out here putting out her little, her little pop songs. It wasn't until like later on when I think, what was it? The album that had Express Yourself on it, that she got a little more edgier, a little sexier with her image. She started to mature a little bit. In the beginning of her career, it was sort of like, okay, I'm just gonna make my pop songs and I'll add a little social commentary because we have Papa Don't Preach and all other stuff. But it wasn't until like later on in the 90s where she started to push the boundaries for her music. So yeah, she had to play her cards right in the beginning. Couldn't come out being too aggressive in the beginning. They would have turned a lot of conservatives off. I heard they're trying to Spawn again this time. Yeah, there have been so many conversations around Spawn over the years. I don't even know what to believe anymore. And the creator of Spawn has been talking about, oh yeah, we have the script, we're directing. It's been so many stories of her. I was like, I almost forgot that Spawn was even happening because it's been in development hell for so long. Yeah, it was remixed because I think nobody wouldn't have known. I'm reading Sailor Mermaid's post. And it said they do that sometimes with older songs where they use them in Marvel movies. It said Bye 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 was rebranded on YouTube as featured in Deadpool versus Wolverine. Yes, bitch, I told you. Well, yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell you. That's why I'm hiding behind my screen doing it now. I was like, yeah, but bitch, we can still go see it. I was like, yeah, I had my ticket before we even had that conversation. I know I should have said something. He said, it's the betrayal for me, child. I did too. I haven't heard it in years, but I do remember I bought the Spawn soundtrack on cassette. That's how far back that came out. Yes, I'm dating myself. I bought it on cassette. But anyway, so okay. So now let's move on and talk about Robert Downey Jr. and this whole announcement that came out from Hall H yesterday that Robert Downey Jr. is set to be playing. Oh my God, did I not open that article? Hold on a second. Because I was like, wait a minute. I could have sworn that I had that article open for the whole Robert Downey Jr. situation, and I don't. And I don't. But the good thing is, all I got to do is go to Variety. So yeah, we have that chair. Oh, wait. Should I be sharing my screen? Yes, we should. So yeah, this was the big reveal yesterday at San Diego Comic-Con, where he basically had the Doctor Doom outfit on. First of all, he looked short as hell in that damn thing. And he took the mask off, and people, were excited that he was Doctor Doom. And I will say this. Um, oh, they're saying James McAvoy knew about his Deadpool and Wolverine moment, but wasn't called for a cameo. Wait, did I miss something? Was he in that? I must have missed that part or whatever. Because I know after that mid-credit scene, which basically was, um, what was it? Oh, it was basically just like they were showing a montage of like all the X-Men and Wolverine films and all the stuff. They were showing like a little montage of them behind the scenes working on the film. I don't know if there was another scene after that, because after that I had to go to the bathroom and I left. Um, so yeah, so Robert Downey Jr. basically was revealed, and I know like we were all having a moment of like, yeah, it was that dopamine fix. Everybody was excited. It was just that rush of energy or whatever. But once the dopamine fix started to wear off, I really got to thinking, and I have to say, in my opinion, this is a misstep on the MCU's part. Now, I'm not trying to diminish and say, like, you know what, Robert Downey Jr. is not a great actor, that he's not going to kill it when he plays the role. I'm ready for you to prove me wrong. But for me, when we've seen him play a pivotal character within the MCU for over a decade, that's all I see you as. I can't see you as being someone else. Now, I know that the rumor has been that he's going to be playing a variant of Tony Stark as Doctor Doom. But no, from what I'm hearing, he's actually playing Victor Von Doom. He's playing an entirely different character. And yes, I know that we've had actors who have played different roles throughout the years. We've had, like, for example, Chris Evans was, you know, the Human Torch before he was Captain America. Two separate Marvel movies. So I get that. However, Robert Downey Jr. has solidified himself as Tony Stark for so long. It's hard for me. And even though I'm, someone who studied acting, all this other stuff, when you play the character for so long, it's sort of like, yeah, you can do all these other things where congratulations, for him winning the Oscar for Oppenheimer. It was well deserved. He killed that role in that film. So his Oscar was well deserved. So when you do smaller fare where you're playing like not the lead, then it's like, okay, I think that's more forgiving than you coming and playing one of the most pivotal villains in the history of Marvel. Like, there's a lot of people that love Doctor Doom. For him to come in and play this role, I do think it's a slap in the face of the fans. And to me, I was expecting like Mads Mikkelsen or somebody to come out as Doctor Doom. But doing this, it just feels it feels like a corporate. It feels more like it feels very much like Marvel corporate overlords kind of came in and was like, well, how can we guarantee ourselves to make $1 billion? Similar to, Endgame and the other two movies, which is why, the other two Avengers movies, which is why we have, the Russo brothers back. But you have to realize the reason why we loved Infinity War and Endgame is because all those movies were lead ups to stuff that happened prior that were great stories from all the different movies over the years that we saw from Captain America and Thor and, with the Hulk and Spider-Man and Black Panther and all these people that were coming up in there. When we got to Infinity War and Endgame, this was years of prep where it led up to those explosive finales or half a film where it went from one and was concluded in the next one. But here it just feels like y'all just throwing shit at the wall and trying to see where it sticks. And I think at this point, it's kind of like feeling a little desperate because the MCU hasn't been in the best of places right now, especially when they were talking about, in Deadpool and Wolverine, the jokes where they were at the expense of the MCU. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's hard for me to feel excited for Robert Downey Jr. to be in this film. So, according to Variety, they said he's returning and it'll be directed, as we said, by Joe and Anthony Russo. Now, the films are going to be called Avengers Doomsday, which will introduce Victor Von Doom / Dr. Doom, and then we have Avengers Secret Wars, because we didn't have a name for the one before Secret Wars. I remember it was supposed to be Kang Dynasty, but look, at this point, Jonathan Majors, you out of a job. The whole Kang Dynasty is dead. It didn't work, and I won't even say it's even his fault, because to me, even before the whole situation with Jonathan Majors and all the stuff that he got caught up in his personal life, his version of Kang was so underwhelming, and I don't think it was necessarily him as an actor. I think it was just the writers that ruined that whole Kang story for me. It just didn't work, especially in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I despise that film. 20 minutes in, I was like, what is this shit? It was literally background noise to me. So I'm glad that we finally got a name. So they're calling it Doomsday. So that's why I said we're getting introduced to Victor Von Doom. We're not getting introduced to Tony Stark as Dr. Doom. So they said, while Downey has said in recent interviews that he was open to returning to Marvel, fans naturally assumed that meant he would come back as Iron Man Tony Stark. Downey's turn as the villainous Victor Von Doom comes as a massive shock to the fandom, including the ecstatic audience at Marvel's presentation at San Diego Comic-Con. Well, the reason why I feel like they were ecstatic is because they were in the room with their phones up and they got to be the ones to spill this tea and be in there during the time of this zeitgeist moment. The drugs, the endorphins were going, haywire. So that was more or less an ego thing. But like I said, once the dopamine wore off from the excitement, now you're like, huh? Like, no. While we're glad to see Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU, in the words of my girl from Switch before she wound up getting killed by Cypher in the Matrix, not like this. Not like this. We don't want that. No, we don't. So, we don't need to recap on when he first appeared. We already know when he came, 2008. So, while I said I am excited to see where they're going to go with this whole Robert Downey Jr. thinking, like I said, I'm ready for you to prove me wrong. I'm ready for you to be like, you know what? And when that comes out and the movie is great and Robert Downey Jr. kills it and he makes to the point where he makes me forget he was ever Tony Stark, then I will eat my words on this show. Trust me, you know I'll take accountability when I'm wrong. I'll admit when I'm wrong, even though it's hard for me to do it. It's like my tongue gonna be bleeding all out of all the sides of my mouth when I have to reveal this stuff. But for the most part, it's like I'll admit when I'm wrong. And that's the one thing that I've had people say that they love about me and my show and all this other stuff. Is like, you know what? I'll eat crow. Not literally like Wendy Williams did when Kanye and Kim stayed married longer than she expected. I ain't no damn crow. I ain't trying to get no salmonella. But I'll eat mental crow on this show. But yeah, so far, like I said, I'm indifferent about the whole Robert Downey Jr. thing. I don't know how I'm not that excited. I mean, I want to be excited, as excited I was when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine. But at this point, it's just like, okay, whatever. It was great to see Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU, but I wanted Tony Stark in another way. And then also it makes me wonder, what are the stakes? Because y'all do this whole multiverse thingamajig, whatever the case is. It's like when you have people in here, it's like there's no real stakes anymore because you can go into multiverses and change things. It's so annoying. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you guys excited to see Robert Downey Jr. coming back as to the MCU, but as an entirely different character, as Dr. Doom, one of the most prominent villains within the MCU? Or do you feel like this is a misstep and it looks desperate on the MCU's part because they are in desperate need of a hit, especially coming off the huge opening weekend success of Deadpool and Wolverine? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. He says, still love you though, and sure, let me know when you free. Yes, it's like, that's the one thing about it. It's like, Stella Marie can cuss me out, and we still love each other at the end of the day. But yeah, I should be free this. I think I got a lot of time this. Oh wait, actually I don't, because I'm supposed to be doing a K-pop concert this week. It's a stadium tour, or whatever. So I think it may have to. Well, I don't know. We'll discuss it maybe sometime this week. And it said, okay, RDJ as Doom makes no sense. Like, just bring him back as Iron Man and hire an Eastern European actor. That's why I said Mads Mikkelsen. That's what I see. I understand he was a villain in the first Doctor Strange. But he could play Dr. Doom. First of all, keep the mask on the whole time. We just hear the voice. So this better not be no Judge Dredd type shit where it's like, and I'm talking about the Sylvester Stallone one, where because it's Robert Downey Jr. and he's a big movie star. First of all, he's made billions of dollars already from playing Iron Man. So you ain't got enough money? So this better not be no situation. Victor Von Doom has to make sure he doesn't have his mask on. No, you need to learn how to act with that shit on. Just like Carl Urban did a phenomenal job as Judge Dredd. I mean, he was Judge Dredd, even though the movie was called Dredd. As Judge Dredd, he kept the helmet on, which is very meta from the comics, and he had to show other ways to evoke that emotion, which you can do if you've taken enough acting training. You don't necessarily need to show your eyes and your face. You could do it with different emotions and nuances. There's different ways that you could physically show emotion without having to reveal your whole face. So if Robert Downey Jr., Oscar winner, can pull that off, then we'll see. And I agree. It's like, give them, yeah, that's another thing too. And I think that a lot of people were disappointed because now I'm glad you brought that, because that's what I wanted to reiterate in my story on it. It feels very nepotism. It feels like nepotism in a way. Oh, let's go with something familiar because we're already in a place of like nostalgia. It's like Hollywood is in this whole nostalgia thing. Twisters came out. It's basically a fucking Xerox copy of Twister, just with new actors in it. Bill Paxton dead. Let's just replace him with this other actor from Texas. Helen Hunt's still around, just older. Let's get another actor in it. So let's just copy the same beats of the original movie and put it in this one and just sell it to the people. And because we love the original film so much, this pulls on the heartstrings, and I'm sure it's an adorable. I don't mean to for Twisters to catch a stray, but I'm just using it as an example. It's just unfortunate, like we're in such an era of like always nostalgia, looking back instead of coming up, giving other people opportunity. There's so many actors out here who want the opportunity to be. I did hear about Bill Paxton's son is in Twisters. I remember seeing that story on So I'm reading one of the comments in the thing. um, I'm tired of like there's enough actors out here. So this is the thing that irritates me about these one percenters and Hollywood. Y'all getting it too. We shouldn't only just go after the millionaires, billionaires stuff. We can start throwing shade at Hollywood too. This whole hand jobs that y'all like to give each other, where it's like y'all want to keep a certain percentage of people constantly employed and keep giving them back in the Brinks truck because you think it's going to guarantee box office success. Most people don't care about that anymore. The whole thing of the whole era of movie star is non-existent. Now I think fans care about story. They want a story. They want a character an actor that fits the character in which they're watching. A lot of times the fans, they bitch and moan, but they usually get it wrong. But I trust in some of the people. Like people had an issue with Robert Pattinson being Batman. I saw it. I saw exactly the direction that Matt Reeves was going to take with that character and made y'all look like Boo Boo the Fool. Same thing with, it seemed like every damn Batman y'all was mad at. Y'all was mad at Ben Affleck as Batman. Y'all was mad at Michael Keaton being Batman. Y'all was mad at Heath Ledger being the Joker. Now, ever since then, can nobody beat his Joker? So it's sort of like y'all, the fans do get it wrong in regards to the sense. But I feel like this time MCU got it wrong. But like I said, I'm ready for y'all to prove me wrong when this movie comes out to say, like, you know what? Maybe maybe they see something different. But to me, it just feels very much like Hollywood. I mean, MCU is desperate. And they feel like, let's pull somebody familiar in to watch this film. People love Doctor Doom. There are huge Doctor Doom fans. We're excited. I'll say me. I'm excited for Fantastic Four. I know Fantastic Four has not been given its just due as a franchise, but I'm excited for Fantastic Four. I want to definitely see where they're going to go with this. And sidebar, I need to be a sandwich in between Pedro Pascal and Russell Tovey. Did y'all see that picture of them at the Pet Shop Boys concert? I damn near lost my mind. And the fact that Russell Tovey had his hand around Pedro's shoulder and it looked like he was caressing his chest. I'm like, can you imagine the sex between those two? I don't want to out nobody, but yeah, Pedro, I already know you laying out the breadcrumbs. We know that I see it. How you doing, girl? Welcome to the family. But I think he just don't want to. He don't need to come out of the closet. He don't need to say what's going on. I see you, girl. Especially with the people you've been hanging out. He good friends with Omar Apollo. And I'm not trying to say straight people can't be friends with gay people, but the breadcrumbs is there. I'm not I'm not naive to see like, okay, I see what you're doing. And you pushing 50 and we ain't never seen you with a girlfriend? We here. But anyway, so I said, it doesn't make any sense. I said, Bill Paxton's son is in, yeah. Oh, yeah, I read that. Nope. Agreed. No more established past actors. There are so many people who are up and coming that will love an opportunity. That's why you know what, at this point, I love you, MCU, and I'll watch whatever you guys put out because you put in the work and you've established yourselves as a prominent superhero studio. But to me, I feel more excited for what James Gunn and Peter Safran are about to do over at the DCU. So that's what I'm looking forward to because, like, look, he's getting at least one thing y'all can't say about James Gunn. At least he's not doing no fan. I mean, I'm sure he'll bring some of his faves from the franchise. Like he'll bring Chris Pratt into something over there at the DCU and Dave Bautista maybe. I understand that. Like because those are the people he's comfortable with, and that's where he brings people in. But I love the fact that he's bringing in new people. David Cornsweat's the new Superman. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to this character that's different than all the other Supermans. Everybody's still mad about Henry Cavill. Get the fuck over it. I'm sorry. I liked Henry Cavill as Superman, but Zack Snyder done fucked up the thing. He fucked up that franchise. I'm sorry. The decisions that he was making Superman do and shit was not from the comics, and this didn't make sense. And it was a little too dark. So I like the idea that, to me, for what I've seen so far, James Gunn is ripping it from the old comic strip, so it feels very much brighter and more fun or whatever. I'm getting an essence of what it is. I can't necessarily put my finger on it, but it's kind of giving me old school comic strip type vibe. So I'm looking forward to seeing like a trailer or whatever and see what he's going to bring to that. And I love the fact that he's got oh my god, what's the actor's name that's playing Lex Luthor. He also played Nux in, why can't I remember his name? He was also in X-Men. He was in a lot of movies as Beast, right? I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. It's like all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, I just think like he's perfect as Lex Luthor. There's certain actors you look at as like, I see it. Yeah, I do. Well, I honestly didn't like not Kelsey Grammer. He's Nicholas Holt. That's his name. It came to my head. So I like Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's gonna do with that role. I was like, I totally saw it before they even cast him. Could you shave the head? He's got the physical, the body and everything. So he's gonna be a perfect Lex Luthor in my opinion. Shit, way better than the one that played that was in the Social Network. I didn't understand that Lex Luthor, the one that played Mark Zuckerberg. I was like, that was a misfired chair. The look in his eyes was, child, I told you. The way he was looking at Pedro was kind of like how Taron Egerton was looking at Hugh Jackman. Remember that viral photo or video that was going around? I was like, Hugh done tore that pussy up. I can imagine too. Wait a minute, let me stop being nasty. And let's move on to some nastier, which is In a Violent Nature, which was revealed over at Comic-Con. Because everybody's at Comic-Con. Shout out to Miguel, a friend of mine who's over there. I saw he was dressed up as Jubilee. I actually like this Jubilee. I think he goes to Comic-Con all the time. But anyway, so yeah, In a Violent Nature, which is like available on, I think you could watch it on demand or one of those other things. So if you haven't seen it, you could definitely check it out. Me, I will say, well, I'll give you my opinions on it. So apparently what they're saying, according to the reports, Johnny, who is the bloodthirsty killer in A Violent Nature, is headed back to the woods to hack up more innocent victims. So they says, according to IndieWire, shout out to them, they said everyone, even slasher villains, must learn to walk before they can run. That logic puts the delightfully meandering In a Violent Nature and its breakout star Johnny, who's played by Rye Barrett, in a great starting position as they pick up speed for a well-earned sequel, now in early development at IFC Films and Shudder. Now, announced during the Bold Voices of Contemporary Horror panel at San Diego Comic-Con of this year, obviously, because it's still going on. The follow-up film is set to be written by original filmmaker Chris Nash. No director was announced. Now, In a Violent Nature demonstrated that there continues to be a yearning for new perspectives in the horror landscape. This is what Scott Schumann, head of AMC Network's film group, said in a statement, saying, "We knew immediately that this distinctive take on the slasher would enthrall fans and are glad to see the community embrace a new slasher icon in Johnny. With the sequel, we aim to prove that Johnny can be bigger, meaner, and his skills can only get more impressive. Peter Kaplowski and Shannon Hammer will produce with Emily Gatto, Nicholas Lazo, and Samuel Zimmerman, blah, 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 blah. They also said this is one of the reason why, of course, is getting a sequel, because the first film is one of IFC Films' highest grossing titles to date and comes on the heels of other major genre successions like Damian McCarthy's Oddity. Now, I have heard a lot about Oddity. I haven't seen it yet, but I have heard good things about Oddity. I want to see that, and I want to see Longlegs with Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage. I've heard great things about that movie too. I have to say, 2024 has been a great year for horror movies. And while I have not been to the movie theaters as much as I would like to see a lot of these films, when they end up on demand or whatever the case is, I usually buy a lot of those films and I watch it. Now, I will say this. I have not seen In a Violent Nature yet. I want to see it, but I was waiting for it to come out on Shudder. But then when I found out in the article when it's coming out, I'm like, well, fuck that. I don't know if I can wait another damn 2 months to watch it. It's premiering on Shudder on Friday the 13th. So September 13th, I should be more specific. I don't know if I can wait that long. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to purchase the film because I've heard, and I think why I've been so hesitant is because there's been, what's the word? It's the reviews have been mixed. I know a lot of people say, yeah, the gore is like it rivals Another one of my favorite movies, Terrifier. I am so excited for Terrifier 3. I cannot wait to see this movie. I saw they released the teaser on Friday, I believe. I'm obsessed with Art the Clown. You have no idea. So, and I don't like clowns, but I love Art the Clown. Like, he's the crazy, in my opinion, he's the craziest clown since Pennywise, but he's even more sick. So, actually, like I said, I love Art the Clown. But now with this whole situation, I definitely want to check out because I've heard people say, oh, he's basically like Jason. And basically, you're just watching him, and like it takes beats from Friday the 13th Part 6. He's resurrected. He goes to the woods. It's basically a Friday the 13th movie that you get to see what Jason's doing in between those scenes of like the teenagers being dumb or whatever the case it is that they're doing. So when Jason is off camera, this is basically the scenes of what you get to see with him just walking through the woods, and it's very much like a video game, but the camera's following him. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the same type of direction they're going to take. I think with some scenes you're going to have to do that, but you cannot do the same thing that you did in the original film in the sequel, similar to Extraction, where Extraction is known for its oneers, which basically, for those who don't know what a oneer is, it's like one long sequence that it looks like there's no edits in it, but this is like a little trickery that they do to make it seem like it's just one endless action sequence. In the sequel to Extraction, they found a way to step it up from that original film. So they're going to have to do that with this film, where it's like you could do those scenes of like watching Johnny walk through the woods and come up on the victims or whatever, but you're going to have to find ways to broaden your situation. So they said Inner Violent Nature was originally conceived as a meta sequel with within a fictional slasher series. So we were always imagining mayhem beyond the scope of the original film. This is what Kapowski in the same press said in the same press release. That we now have the opportunity to continue following Johnny on his relentless walk has us feeling incredibly grateful to our incredible partners at IFC Films and Shudder, who believe in Chris's vision from day one. We are thrilled to return for a new chapter and are excited to deploy Johnny as a conduit to further experiments in the genre. So, like I said, I'm definitely excited to see this film. I already saw one of the scenes were spoiled for me because I was looking for this. Actually, it happened today when I was going to look for this photo, because I was like, I needed a photo, context whenever we do the show, pull photos and stuff up. So one of the scenes that I happened to see on Twitter was the girl that was doing her yoga in the woods or whatever the case was, like her, she was working out in the woods. And I saw one of the scenes where he pulls his hook through her stomach and you see her intestines coming out, and he actually takes the sharp part of the hook and stabs it at the top of her head. I'm like, the fuck? And I heard that's like one of the most brutal scenes in the film. So I say all this to say, I'm excited for this sequel to In a Violent Nature. And I'm definitely going to check this movie. I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably purchase it because I know it's available on demand and stuff. I'll probably just buy the film, and maybe when I get back from watching Sleepaway Camp tonight, because it is speaking of IFC, it's playing at the IFC theater tonight. So since I'm gonna be when I get back, I'll probably just watch it, and just because I'll probably be in the same, slasher movie, camper in the woods type of mood with a killer killing people, in the woods type of mood. So I'll probably just watch tonight, and then when I do a show tomorrow, I'll let y'all know my overall thoughts. But anyway, so speaking of thoughts, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comment section down below. Now we do have comments, and Blanco says, thank you so much for the updates. I love your show. Also, I love the 4 or 5 hour show. Haha, I get a lot done and laughing and crying. I love doing these long ass shows too. That's why I be having to cut up these episodes, depending on the topics. Look, I'm just gonna keep it on track. I think I'll make the show. I mean, I'll make it to the city on time. The movie starts at 7:30, and it's already 2:30, on my time right now. So I don't need to be there too damn early. It don't take that long to get to Manhattan. I saw they're adding Ghostface to the new Mortal Kombat game. I thought it was already in that, in the Mortal Kombat. It wasn't another game that they had, because I know that they bring killers up in there, and I think somebody told me about that, and I was like, I forget who I had this conversation, but I'm like, which Ghostface? Because there's been so many. So it's like, it's very hard to bring that in where it's like, oh, we're using a Ghostface, but which version of Ghostface are we? I would have said maybe they could use, because to make it a little more cooler, the one that was in Scream 5, where it was like the flame, he had the flamethrower or whatever. Maybe they could do that. He said, very much Friday inspired. I wish they got Jason back in the grid. You know what? That would have been, I believe that they said the concept for Inner Violent Nature came from that people were saying that this is what if this was like a what if with Jason, this type of situation. Like what would Jason be doing off screen or whatever while the people are all doing what it is that they're doing, and they're showing you basically this is what Jason could possibly be doing. So I believe that was like an original concept, but it just developed into this other thing. Yeah, I heard that they had him and that they had Jason and Leatherface. I think also my roommate had at the time had a game where you could play all the different characters and killers, and you could like he was and I remember playing that game with him at one point because I lived with two damn gamers, so it's hard to escape that. He said the estate of Wes Craven said that after the 2010 remake, which flopped hard, Nightmare on Elm Street is dead. You know what? At this point, if they can't come up with a concept for a Nightmare on Elm Street, I do say leave the franchise dead. I feel like we're at a point where can we start creating new IPs? That's why I love the idea of horror is showing at this point that fans are ready for. I mean, it's easy to make another Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer and stretch that shit into the damn ground. But I do feel like we're seeing so many different horror films, like the ones we mentioned. We had Long Legs. You have there was one I just saw on Shudder, Arcadia, with Nicolas Cage, where they had these weird baboon, horse face, monster, monkey. I don't know what the fuck it was, but it looked weird as hell. And that was a good damn movie. I was jumping the whole damn time. If y'all have Shudder and y'all have not seen Arcadia, definitely check that movie out. It's like this post-apocalyptic movie with these creatures that don't like the sun, are killing people and stuff. And I like that. So I like the fact that when it comes to the horror films and stuff, that there are people that they're allowing people in the horror genre to take more risks in regards to the ideas and the films and stuff that they have, rather than um having us sit through another freaking remake, like or like these other films that they got coming out in these other genres. Horror, at least you're allowed to take risks, do different things, and they're making their money. A series of A Nightmare on Elm Street. I know. Look, I've already heard they're doing a series of Halloween. They're doing a series of Friday 13th. We already know that they're rejudging that whole thing because we talked about on the show the mess that that's become and all the behind the scenes shenanigans. So they're working on that. Damn, there was an article that I saw recently where they were talking about behind the scenes shenanigans of one of the movies. I'm gonna have to do my research on that, but I remember I saw it in passing and I meant to open it up and read it, but I think I was so overwhelmed yesterday with trying to get topics and stuff as soon as I got in from work to do for today's show that I think it just slipped my mind, but I'm sure I'll come across the article again. Well, I hope it doesn't suck. Jason's in the multiverse. Well, you look, they're going. Don't even give them an idea. They might create a Friday the 13th multiverse. Speaking of which, I was in the mood to watch Friday the 13th Part 3 yesterday. I like some of the kills in that. First of all, Andy, I had such a crush on him. The one that walks on his hands that got chopped in half by Jason. And then I actually paused the shot of him on top of the thing when the girl looks up and then she gets stabbed through the neck in the hammock. Well, it was like kind of like right here. It wasn't really in the chest because that knife was huge. But then they had him up there and I paused and you could see like his intestines and he was folded and then his body was like, I was like, that looked like a cool shot. And that was the first time. And it's funny when you watch movies long enough, you start to discover things. I finally saw, that was the first time I saw that shot yesterday. So I paused it on my television and I was like staring at it for like a good 2 minutes. Like, that's a cool shot. And so it was like, I heard there's a rumor that wasn't confirmed. A24 Camp Crystal Lake is definitely dead and not happening. It's not? Well, I have to look into that because I remember that there was a story at one point that they were reworking it. So I need to look into seeing like if that has actually happened, that Crystal Lake is officially done, that A24 is not developing it, that all that money they don't wasted is just wasted. Wes Craven owes Freddie as he created the character. Yeah, so his estate's gonna have to sign off on that. So I'm like, look, if they can come up with an idea and they can come to the table with it. And then Friday the 13th, you know what? If they're still gonna be in this litigation mess of y'all can't figure out how to make this thing work because one person owns Friday the 13th, the other person owns Jason Voorhees, and y'all can't come to a consensus, then it's like, you know what? In a nature, if y'all can find a way to do a loophole and make something Jason-esque, but really take an idea and just run with it with your own situation, then I'll be, until we can get a new Jason movie on the big screen that's as iconic as the other earlier 80s movies, then I'll just be an In the Nature fan in the meantime. I know they're remaking Ghoulies and Chopping. I actually like Chopping Mall. It was such a cheesy film, but I love Chopping Mall. And Ghoulies, child, that movie used to freak me out when I was a kid because I would be afraid to sit on the toilet. I was like, why did I watch that movie when I was little? And it's funny how it's like, yeah, Ghoulies, you had Troll, which was another terrible movie, but it's a special place in my heart about that. Speaking of which, Noah Hathaway from The Never Ending Story is in that movie. Then there's Critters with Scott Grimes. I absolutely, and Dee Wallace, Stone at the time, but she's Dee Wallace. I love the original Critters. That's another bad movie too. That's a movie that needs a remake. But they said, I hate the death of the eye popping out of that fucking robot because of the third thing. Oh, they said a sequel to 13. I've seen that 13 fanboy movie on Paramount Plus, but I never got around to watching it. Maybe I need to watch it based off your recommendation. Oh yeah, yeah, because I feel like because Gremlins was such a success. And here's the thing: when I was a kid, I remember when I went to camp. I went to like the Fresh Air Fund or something or another. Me and my sister, and the family that we stayed with took us. I remember I got in trouble because I jumped on their waterbed, and I was supposed to be on the waterbed, but I was curious about the whole waterbed situation, so I jumped on it. Um, the family that we stayed with, it was like a white couple, took us, me and my sister, to a drive-in theater. And that was where I first saw Twilight Zone, the movie, because they showed like old movies and stuff in the theaters. Like it wasn't always like stuff that just came out. So it was like a double feature. And it's funny how I remember this even as a kid. It was like I saw Twilight Zone, the movie, and I saw Gremlins in the theater. That was the first time I ever saw Gremlins in a drive-in. I'm so glad that I grew up at the time I did because it's like this new generation, y'all don't know shit about a drive-in. Drive-in was fun. Like you could literally just show up to the theater in your pajamas and you can hang out in a truck, which is what the couple had. And you could just sit there and you have like the little speaker right next to your car and you have the big screen and you have your car parked and you could just watch a movie and have a good time. You could show up as you are. I'm sure a lot of people was fornicating up in there too. But I was little. I understand all that. And they should remake Critters. That was one of the funniest horror movies I ever saw. Yeah, they should remake it. That was a good one. But anyway, now let's get into this mess chair. And let's talk about Ben Affleck and the fact that he done, I think it's official that he and Jennifer are pretty much done. I just wish y'all to stop jerking us around and just file the damn papers to divorce, because it's like at this point if you're spending $20.5 million on a bachelor pad, then why are you jerking us around unless there's some issues within y'all prenuptial agreement? If y'all need to sign one, I don't know, and y'all trying to divvy up the cointadas because no shade, but Jennifer makes way more money than Ben Affleck, but that's because Jennifer's a brand and Ben Affleck is an artist. It's a difference. So, according to reports, and the report being the Daily Mail, Ben Affleck has reportedly purchased his own multi-million-dollar home in LA as Jennifer Lopez continues rolling with her entourage in New York, because she's been hanging out in the Hamptons lately. So the Academy Award winner, who's 51, closed escrow on a new $20.5 million estate in the Oceanside Enclave, according to TMZ. The home has 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms with breakfast and dining areas, as well as separate family room, a den, walk-in closets, media room, powder room, guest house, and more amenities typical for a multi-million-dollar house. Does it come with a lawyer, a manager, an agent, and a chef, 3 nannies, an assistant, a driver, and a jet? Shout out to Madonna, girl. So they said this development is the strongest sign yet that Affleck's marriage to Jennifer Lopez, 55, may be heading towards divorce. So this is me now, artists, and Affleck listed their Beverly Hills home. This is another thing that irritates me too. So how the hell you spending $20.5 million on a bachelor pad when you and Hannaford have a $68 million mansion that y'all in Beverly Hills that you basically put up for, you know, purchase because you don't want to live there no more. But I hear Hannaford's been staying there. But lately, because of the summer, and here's the thing, say what you want about New York, but New York is lit in the summertime. I have to say, if you got the coins and you go flat, and if I had, first of all, if I, in the words of Pebble of Asia, if I had the dollars, I would literally be living in LA during the winter and New York during the summer because I love New York in the summertime. I like going to Fire Island. I remember I used to do that a lot when I was younger. I used to be in Fire Island all the time. Shout out to my friend Adam, who every time I turn around, his ass is out in Fire Island, but he can do that because he lives out in Suffolk County. So it's easy for him to get to the island. He drives. He could just park his car, where, that whole parking space to jump on the ferry. Ferry ain't that damn expensive. Just pay the fare for the ferry, get to Fire Island, and then that's that. But it's a lot if you a city person and you got to take like the train, the Long Island Railroad to, to like one of the buses that can bus you to the boat and then take the boat to Fire Island. So it's a travel and a half. But if you live out there, you can do it. So they said they recently spent their second wedding anniversary apart amid reports that they're living in separate homes. Now, as Lopez stayed in their marital home, Affleck has been living in a $100,000 monthly rental that's just a short drive from his ex-wife, Jennifer Garner. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. She's Jennifer Garner, not Jennifer. Jennifer's the other one. Jennifer Garner's Brentwood house. He and Garner, who's 52, were married from 2005 to 2018, and they share children Violet, who's 18, Finn, who's 15, and 12-year-old Samuel. Reports of the Affleck and Lopez's marital woes began circulating in May after the pair hadn't been seen with each other since late March. So we already know the tea in regards to that. We don't need to break all that down and all that good stuff. We've been hearing conflicting reports that they've been sending love letters to each other. They're trying to make the marriage work. They're trying to remind each other what was then, and it seems like it's not working. And then the next day we're hearing that Jennifer's wearing her ring, and then she's not wearing the ring, and she's hiding her fingers with these long sweaters that she's wearing in 90-degree freaking weather in New York. And it's just a back and forth ping pong situation or tennis, U.S. Open, because let's take it to the highest of high. It's like the U.S. Open. They're like the U.S. Open of relationships. Like it's just constantly going back and forth with the shenanigans and the drama. I just wish at this point, you know what? Maybe y'all are doing it at this point, jerking us around because it's keeping y'all names in our mouths, and we're constantly reporting about it. Every day I can't tell you there's a new story coming out about Ben and Jen and their whole situation. And at this point, I know I keep saying that I need to stop talking about unless y'all get a divorce, unless y'all file that, we need to stop talking about it, but there's always new stuff coming out all the time. I'm at a point now where it's like, child, either shit or get off the pot. Get the divorce, move on, and stop jerking us around. Because for somebody who don't like being on the spotlight, your tea sure enough be getting spilled every other day in media spaces. So I'll say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Ben is basically at this point, seemed like he's at his wit's end. He's moved on. He's put down a lot of cointadas on a bachelor pad that's got a lot of rooms. I'm like, if you by yourself, why do you... That's another thing I don't understand, because it's the same thing where I'm looking at with them with the $60 million mansion. Why does two people need that much space for a $60 million mansion? Or even one person that needs all that space? Like me, if I'm by myself, I don't need that many rooms unless it's like, okay, I would turn one into my office. Well, the house probably comes with an office. One of the bedrooms, okay, I can understand it's like for my kids to have each of a room, and then I have my own room, and then I turn one of them into, like, with me being media, I would actually turn one part of the room into my studio where I could be doing stuff out of my own place instead of me having to spend money to, rent out a studio, whatever the case is. So And thank God for technology, because y'all made a whole lot of things a lot more inexpensive for those of us out here who are independent content creators. So that's what I would have been doing. But I say all this to say, yeah, whatever y'all think about this story and the fact that, look, they ain't getting back together. It is what it is. It's over. I just feel like y'all need to go y'all separate ways. He need to go do what he need to do with his career. Hannaford need to go and get her shit together and leave these men alone and all that good stuff. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Felix says, I saw E.T. at a drive-in when I was 6. It was one of the first movies I remember seeing. I think I saw E.T. I think I saw it on VHS. In Spice World, Victoria is a good mom, not a in a drunk. Agreed. Just get the damn divorce. I totally agree. Because I'm at this point, it's like, child, y'all driving me fucking crazy. I just feel like y'all jerking us around at this point. I'm tired of always constantly talking about y'all. Like, it's good grist for the mill. And, I could just throw, to make the story more interesting, because it's literally like I'm beating a dead horse at this point. I just throw my roast and gags and my reads in to have y'all cackle. But for the most part, I'm just like, child, I'm over it. Like, I'm ready to move on. I'm tired of talking about y'all. It's annoying. And it is what it is. Now, speaking of couples that in so many ways I'm tired of talking about, but y'all are messy as hell, so we got to talk about y'all. Let's talk about Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky, who, is going through their situation, because Kyle out here getting her box eaten by another woman, allegedly. And then you got Mauricio, who allegedly was cheating on her throughout their entire marriage, and was seen recently with some Russian model / actress I ain't never heard of. But apparently, they got hit with a tax lien because somebody ain't been paying their taxes. So Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky seem to be moving on despite their split, but their escalating financial troubles are keeping them entangled for now. So according to page 6, an official document that they got their hands on shows that the state tax lien issued by California in the amount of $6,542 on Friday has been placed on the marital home in Encino, California. The Daily Mail, who was first to report the news, said the lien was from 2022 debt. The estranged couple purchased the massive 10,000 square foot home in 2017 for $8.3 million. Now, Richards, who's 55, confirmed the agency founder, who's 54, moved out of the 7-bedroom, 8-bath mansion in May. Umansky is believed to have moved into a West Hollywood condo worth several $1 million. He is reportedly now neighbors with Matt Damon, who owns a $8.6 million unit. Now, it's unclear how the reality stars plan to handle the lien, but this is not the first time having a claim against one of their properties. They're saying, according to reports, Richards and Umansky were given a $13,707.47 tax lien. Well, it's to say state tax lien, because we got to be specific. There's the federal and there's the state. So it's a state tax lien in April of 2022 for unpaid taxes from 2020, according to the Mail. The outlet reportedly said they paid off the debt in July of 2022. However, just months later, on December 14th of 2022, Umansky's UMRO Realty Corp, which operates as the agency, was slapped with liens in the thousands of $16,777.97, $3,454.41, $2,120.67, and $269.47. Well, goddamn. What you doing over there, Mauricio? Spending all your money on wine and dining and 69 and younger women instead of paying your taxes? So on December 20th, 2023, he was reportedly handed 3 more liens in the amounts of $4,673.64, $3,878.19, and $290.15. The Vine Beverly Hills star holds offices in Beverly Hills, Calabasas, Molina Del Rey, Pasadena, and Sherman Oaks, California. So that's where all them liens probably was on. Because, all these agencies, and, every time y'all watch episodes of The Housewives, he always told me he opened up a new agency. Well, damn, have you spent time focusing on the ones you got instead of trying to spread out and open up more? It's like y'all with these damn franchises. Can you make sure that the franchise you got is good before y'all start stretching out trying to make 8 million different versions of the same damn show? Drag Race and Housewives. So they said page 6 did not immediately receive a response from reps for Umansky or Richards regarding the matter. So they said his company boasts 115 offices through 12 countries altogether. The former couple who split was confirmed last July have other residencies together, residences, together aside from the Encino property. They hold keys to a $13.6 million Aspen, Colorado vacation home they snagged in September 2022 after selling their smaller abode for $7.75 million. So, and I remember we have heard about the Aspen place because they've mentioned it many a times on the Housewives. They also have a vacation house in La Quinta, which they've shown on the Housewives, which they picked up in 2014 for $2.35 million. It's located about hours away from their home in Los Angeles. They previously owned a home in Bel Air, but sold the estate for $6.1 million in 2022. Now, he said the lien comes a week after the couple was thrust into the spotlight over Umansky's affectionate PDA with 33-year-old Ukrainian-American actress and model Nikita Khan. Like I said, I ain't never heard of her. So, and they showed them they were at Mykonos airport, and then she ran up to him and hugged him and kissed him, and it got caught on camera. I don't know if it was just some sneaky person taking a video or that was intentional. And then you had Kathy come out and, because Kathy, ever the subtle one, it was like I had to rip the band-aid off the wound. Was like, well, I told Kyla she was going to have to be ready for that situation. Like, she knew it was coming. She told him to go see other people. Y'all separated. So you knew this was going to happen. I was like, yeah, but Kyle always been that girl. It's like, yeah, she say a lot of stuff. She talk a good game. But then when the reality set in, you know, then it's like, well, damn, I didn't think it was going, I knew it was going to come, but you could never, as a woman, or vice versa, I guess, prepare for someone coming at you in a situation where it's like, well, damn, now this feels real. So at this point, like I said in the previous story about Hannafah and Ben, at this point, y'all just need to stop jerking everybody around, just get the damn divorce. But who knows? Maybe I think from what I've heard, they don't have a prenup. Probably because in the beginning they really didn't have nothing. Yeah, Kyle was a child actress, but before Housewives, nobody was checking for Kyle like that. And Mauricio was a nobody who basically had opportunities because, and there's no shade, I'm just saying, like we ain't know what the hell Mauricio Umansky was before he got on the Housewives. We knew that he was a real estate agent who got a lot of opportunities because he worked up under Rick Hilton, Kathy's husband. So, and then he went and decided to spread his wings and start his own agency because they wouldn't make him a partner. He tells the story in his book and then many a times on the reality TV shows. So, with that being said, I don't know what their whole situation is. It just feels like there's a whole lot of entanglement financially going on. So I don't know. They need to work that whole thing out. But Kyle, because y'all married, his shit, his messiness in the money and the finances affects you as the wife because y'all come as a package deal. So you may have to come out and fork over that coin, or you probably gonna get on that phone and be like, sir, you better figure that shit out because you're not digging into my funds with this whole situation. So I don't know. They got to figure it out. Otherwise, I guess y'all gonna be in a marriage for the rest of y'all life that and then not get the divorce because it's going to be costly. And he probably, because I don't know, I think maybe I would have to look, maybe because of his real estate business has flourished, maybe he's the bigger breadwinner because I don't think the people from the Housewives make that much money. Yeah, they got their endorsement deals and other stuff, but I don't see them making as much money as they was shelling out back in the day when reality TV was on and popping. So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on this whole Kyle and Mauricio tax lien marriage drama entanglement situation. And I am curious also because I know that they're filming Beverly Hills right now. This all better be playing out in the upcoming season. So let me know what y'all things including Kyle's overall thoughts about seeing Mauricio out here with another woman and kissing her on social media, and if the rumors are true that her and Morgan Wade are sisters, like Oprah and Gail, allegedly. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Roro says, to be fair, I don't think Benefit is necessarily jerking us around so much as the blogs keep reporting on every move they make, which absolutely. That's basically what it is. I don't think it's Ben because, like we've said many a times, Ben is out here doing what he does. He hates the media. He hates the spotlight. He hates the paparazzi. He hates all that stuff. He just loves being an actor and a director and being an artist. And I feel like in so many ways, he's someone who doesn't like that part of the industry, but the media, because of what's going on with him in Hennifer, they're playing this up. So I do agree with that part where it's just like it's just this ongoing, endless cycle, and we're getting a lot of us, including myself, is getting annoyed. And then Ron says, "Yeah, I didn't know she was a little girl." Yeah, Kyra, yeah. It's like I've seen that movie so many times, so it's like I knew Kyle Richards was the original girl. Lindsay. And he was so annoying in that damn movie. Lindsay. Like she kept doing that throughout the whole fucking movie. All Lindsay wanted to do was watch some damn TV. She didn't give a fuck about that damn babysitter. She just wanted to sit there and watch the thing with Tommy, which they end up doing when they go to Lori's house while she's babysitting and they carving out the pumpkin. Y'all know the movie. But yeah, she was in the original Halloween. And I actually will say this. I loved the usage of Kyle in Halloween Kills, where she went up against Michael Myers. Put the bricks in the damn sleeping bag, dumped out the candy, because the kids left and ran, and was fighting Michael Myers. I did like that moment. I'm glad they didn't kill her off, but I am mad because in Halloween Ends, y'all kind of wasted her. But I was like, I like seeing Kyle back in her acting bag. We'll see if she gets more into it. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Justin Timberlake because child, his attorney is child, it's a cackle. But of course, because I'm messy, when we talk about Justin Timberlake, y'all know what pitch I gotta pull up, the mugshot. Because I'm a bitch and I'm shady. And when I don't particularly like celebrities like him, we got to drive that situation home. And you already know at the end of the day, his fans don't give a damn. So we could pretty much just say whatever. They're still going to be up in the cult. Justin could do no wrong. It is what it is. So his lawyer is now out here trying to spin this whole situation and say that the pop star was not intoxicated when he was arrested by the police officer last month for driving under the influence. Well, how would you know that when Justin Timberlake, according to the reports, did not, refused a breathalyzer? He refused to, whenever the cop was like offering the breathalyzer, he kept refusing, which is why he was arrested and taken in. So that's the angle, of course, you could use. Because here's the thing. It takes about an hour for alcohol to get in your system before you start feeling the effects of alcohol. Like the police, people in my work environment, like when I'm working a lot of events and things of that nature, we have to take a test in regards of how we can detect that people are under the influence of alcohol or any kind of drugs. So that's a requirement that you have to take. So I'm sure this police officer, when you're pulling people over and you're dealing with traffic stops and all the cases, you have to know if somebody is under the influence of alcohol or any kind of drugs. So according to Compass, they said the most important fact to know about the case is that Justin was not intoxicated and should not have been arrested for DWI. This is what Edward Burke Jr. told Page Six after a hearing for the case on Friday. Timberlake wasn't in attendance because he wasn't required to be there. So his attorney spoke on his behalf. I thought he would probably did a Zoom meeting. And y'all already know Justin is overseas doing his tour. I wonder if people over there was paying $10 to see this film or to see his concert, like allegedly they was doing over here. So they said, according to the outlet, Burke told the court that there was an issue with the initial charging papers. The police made a number of very significant errors in the case, he said, indicating that a signature from a superior officer was missing in the paperwork. In court today, you heard the district attorney try to fix one of those errors, Burke added, but that's just one and there are many others. Sometimes the police make mistakes and this is just one of those instances. Burke then assured that while Timberlake respects law enforcement and the very important job that they do, he was not intoxicated and they made an error in arresting him for it. We are confident that the charges will be dismissed. Well, because he's white and a male and a pop star, of course they'll be dismissed. You think he's going to do jail time? They'll probably make him pay a fine. If not, it'll be dismissed because they done fucked up the thing like they did with damn, I was even talking. Would it be similar to the whole situation with Alec Baldwin? I'm kind of wondering with that. Although Alec Baldwin's situation was way bigger, life was lost. But because they messed up a lot of situations, they dismissed it with prejudice. But I do feel like, Chad, I hope you got your good old massage in, sir, because that was a reach that you were trying to do with this case. So they said, we already know Justin was arrested in mid-June. He was charged with a misdemeanor after police said he ran a stop sign and veered out of his lane in the Hamptons area. Officers noted that they noticed that he had alcohol in his breath. He told them he had one martini and declined to take a breathalyzer. So if you admitted that, yeah, you were drinking and you declined to take a breathalyzer, who are we supposed to believe in this part? We're supposed to believe that the police fucked up. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't trying to say police is innocent, because if we want to talk about Miss Massey in that video that we saw of that police officer recently just shot that woman in cold blood, and we saw the footage, and the fact that they try to lie to the son as to what happened to the mother. Sylvia Massey, I believe is her name. Which I'm no shade, but I actually I'm like, wait, why is everybody talking about Kyle Massey mother? Because remember, oh wait, no, it wasn't Kyle Massey. That's in trouble. See, now I'm getting my fat people confused. I was thinking Sean Kingston. I don't know why I got them, because fat black performers, you start to get them a little confused at some point, and they kind of look alike. So I was like, I don't know why I was getting my peoples confused. So that's why I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, what Kyle Massey mother do? Then I was realizing that it was the lady that was killed by the cop. And how you got a certain idiot on the Republican side talking about that he gonna give full immunity to the police. Don't even get me started with him in this mess. But anyway, let's get back to this other, troubled, clear person, as in Justin Timberlake. So, you already know about the memes that, with the mugshot and all the jokes and all the other stuff. And then they said, and especially with the whole idea of the cop not knowing who Timberlake was. And I feel like this is probably a jab at the cop. Oh, he didn't know how to do his job. Y'all trying to find a dig. This is some Republican type shit right here. So when y'all get y'all low feelings hurt, then you want to find a way to throw a jab at the other person because he didn't know who Justin Timberlake was. Yeah, he's a Gen Zer. Was he a Gen Alpha? Because he's like 22, 23 years old. He didn't grow up listening to no Justin Timberlake. Maybe his mother did. But for the most part, I feel like this was just a jab because his feelings, his ego's bruised. So to me, I say after all of this, Justin, you know damn well you had alcohol in your system. Like, stop it. Because first of all, like you refuse, like I said earlier, you refused the breathalyzer. And you admitted you had a drink. You had a martini, but they said that the type of martini he had, I think it was a Vespa martini. It's a lot of alcohol they put in. That's like drinking a Long Island iced tea, almost. And a Long Island iced tea is pure alcohol with just like a splash of fucking Coke that they put up in there. And I used to drink Long Island iced teas back in my 20s. Never again. I don't fuck with Long Island iced teas. 2 of those will put me out cold. Like, I literally become a whole nother person. It's literally like one of my other personalities come out. And don't even get me started on a blue Long Island iced tea, which I discovered when I went to Woody's in Philly. I didn't even know they made them blue. But one time I had one of those, and that was an expensive one because that's like double the liquor. I was gone by the time I got to the bottom of that drink. So if you had a Vespa Martini, which is full of alcohol, and you feeling like, oh, I'm not that drunk, I could drive home. First of all, if you're under the influence, a lot of times people think that they can do, it's gonna, hinder your judgment. So this is a bunch of BS. You know damn well he did what he did. I know the lawyer's job is to try to get their client off. You're making it worse thing except now if the cop who arrested him has to come up in court and testify, because if y'all gonna take this trial and it gets to a point where Justin gonna have to do some jail time or whatever the case is, I don't know the drastics of the case, but this is just me, theorizing. It's not gonna look good on your end. So to me, it just feels like you're trying to use your white privilege, male privilege, yet another situation where Justin not want to take responsibility for any of the F ups that he has been caught up in. And I think it's flashing people back to the Britney stuff, the Janet stuff, all the different things, the cheating on, alleged cheating on, because I always got to throw alleged, even though we've seen the pictures of him with Alicia Wainwright, while he's married to Jessica Biel, and the many times he's cheated on his exes over the years, Cameron Diaz. He cheated on her allegedly with his current wife. So she shouldn't be surprised at how you get him is how you lose him, and she ain't going no damn where. What else is Jessica Biel doing? Ain't nobody checking for the shows that she's making or the little projects that she wants. And there's no shade. I'm just saying. You know what? She's finally on equal playing field with Justin because Justin don't like women that overshadow him in anything. He didn't like, he was envious of Brittany because Brittany was the bigger star. He was envious of Cameron Diaz because she was the bigger actress. So he needs people in his corner that could be under him. And he could be the biggest star, and the wife would just be in the background. And Jessica Biel's always been that girl that, yeah, she's appeared in things, but she is no Kay Beckinsale. She is no Cameron Diaz. She ain't even a damn Mia Goth. So, well, her career is popping like that. So she's just there making stuff and acting because, you know, Justin is gonna make her feel like she's doing a little something, something. And I think she just her head so far in the cloud, she don't see through the bullshit. Or maybe she does, she just don't care because she knows she good at the end of the day when she could take all these chances and things that she's secure enough in her relationship that should she get a divorce, she get a little coin out of Justin. Especially if, I'm sure they got a cheating clause that, okay, if you cheat on me or whatever, and I've heard the story that there is, that she gets like a little coin title, maybe I think like $1 million or something. I don't know the exact thing, but I haven't heard those stories. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all call cap on this foolishness with Justin Timberlake attorney trying to feed us this BS talking about he wasn't in time? Child, get off my line with this mess. So anyway, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so okay, it's like you basically gave your not Justina Timber Pussy. And it said, FYI, we got an official Scream 7 update. Filming is slightly delayed for Patrick Dempsey and Kevin to rewrite this. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell y'all that Kevin Williamson was going to jump in and rewrite that script? Because at the end of the day, as a director, he is the essence of Scream. He understands the foundation of Scream. He needed to come in and rewrite that. And to me, shout out to the writers that did Scream 5 and 6. But I really feel like y'all really do not understand the whole Scream franchise. Yeah, y'all were throwing around ideas that was cute or whatever. But for them, and I love what y'all did with the Carpenter sisters and stuff, but there was some decisions y'all was making in that franchise that just was not working, especially the third act in both movies. So I'm glad that Kevin Williams is coming in and cleaning up that damn script. And I love the fact that Neb did answer over the weekend. She's like, we're trying to get it right. And it's going to give them plenty of time. So they're going to film Scream 7 in December. And it also gives Patrick Dempsey time because, he's filming Dexter. And shout out to Michael C. Hall, who's actually going to be in 2 Dexter films. Series. He's doing a Dexter sequel because he's supposed to be dead, remember? But apparently they got a way to bring him back. I'm curious. Nobody ever dies apparently in TV or movies. So Michael C. Hall is returning as Dexter, and then they're doing a Dexter prequel series that Patrick Dempsey is a part of. He's going to do the voiceover, which I actually think is perfect. That it's like he does the voiceover part, which is what Dexter's father used to do on the show. And then Dexter at some parts would do the voiceover and stuff in certain sequences over the show. So I like the idea that they're bringing him in for that. Yeah, that picture alone can see he was drunk and said the fact that the original script planned to kill Tara to free up her schedule for Wednesday and set Sam up on a rampage to become the villain. Be glad they were let go because Sam was like Sydney making where it said wanted to be different and not her father. But yeah, that was so stupid. Cause I'm like, at the end of the day, y'all set this whole situation up to be like Sam is not the killer. Sam is not like her father. I'm not my dad. I don't have those impulses of killing. I've thought about it. And then she's using it kind of like the dark passenger, as I like to say, the Dexter angle. Wait, hold on. Let me get rid of this damn thing. There was like where they have like the Dexter angle, that I actually liked, where it's just like, what, I'm killing killers. So that's what she used her powers for. But I'm not gonna actually go and kill innocent people. So I like that idea. I'm like they went more the Dexter angle with that story. But for the most part of it is like, no, that's a bunch of crap. I just didn't like that whole idea of, okay, so now you're gonna have her go on a rampage and go against the very law that y'all created. I'm like, no, maybe all this shit happened I'm glad it happened for a reason. Because I really need to get the Scream franchise back on track. He said Candace Owens was dubbed Racist of the Week, and the person we will announce as Black. You should call her a pick me of the week, not a because we know she hit her own damn kind. Look at them edges, and it said but say Sonya deserved it. Yeah, I remember hearing that. People. I didn't even want to give her energy because I remember hearing the whole thing about what she said about Sonya Massey. It just pissed me off. And I know a lot of people was dragging her on social media in regards of some of the stuff that she said, and rightfully so. Y'all need to, you know what? Let me not go there because I was going to say I was requesting inflicting violence, and so I'm gonna just move on. And the fact that Seventh Heaven isn't streaming on Pluto or a channel, she is Mary Camden, but even Paramount knows actor Stephen, yeah, because he's a allegedly Chester molester. So Stephen Collins ruined any chance for that show. So that's over. I agree. Ron says crap. I mean, not crap, cap. Well, crap and cap. Maybe it was a medication. Oh no, he's definitely problematic in a lot of ways. I'm gonna say, Adrian, are you in a different universe? Yes, the multiverse. And we love the multiverse over here. Have you not seen everything Justin's been doing? But you know what? The one thing I love about this show, we invite all types of opinions. I don't agree with Adrian, but he likes Justin. And it is what it is. I don't particularly care for him because of the way he's thrown so many people under the bus for his own success in the industry. So that's one of the reasons why I don't particularly care for him. You sit up here and talk about how you love Janet, but when the opportunity presented itself where your career was on the line, you were just like, well, fuck that bitch, and I'm gonna throw you under the bus and say my own ass, which is like you revert right back to your white privilege. And I think that's why a lot of people are pissed off at him because he's solely wholeheartedly benefited off the backs of Black culture. And then when it comes down to it, now, I mean, especially with the clone rolls, faux shiz, shout out to Michelle Williams and all that other stuff, people feel the ways about him. But he's definitely been problematic in a lot of ways. But like I said, we love differences of opinion on here as long as it's respectful. They try to bring her back. Who? You talking about Candace? First of all, I was side eyeing those people that, oh yeah, but I hate having to agree with Coon. Well, I call her Coondis because she is a damn coon. But it was just like, oh, I hate having to agree with her. Look, a broken clock is right twice a day. That's what I said about her. And every now and again, I said, now she's trying to revamp herself as like, because the white people that she was licking their tank over there at that network with Tucker Carlson and all of them. Was it Tucker Carlson? She was doing something with them racists. And because oh no, it wasn't. It was the one that got that high ass voice that's still like his balls ain't dropped. What's his name? He, she basically got dumped by them. So now she want to come trot back over to us. And I was like, are y'all that fucking gullible? Like today, it got me so pissed off that shout out to Neighborhood Talk. They posted a video about Donald Trump and with the whole Sonia Massey thing, about making this, giving police full immunity and all this stuff, among other things he said. He also said that he want religious people to go out and vote so they ain't ever got to worry about voting ever again, so that way he can be the president for life, which is what we've been telling y'all he was planning on doing for weeks. That what it takes for him saying it for y'all to wake the fuck up. At what point are y'all gonna unplug from the goddamn Matrix? Like, come on. And it came to the point where he said this whole thing about giving the police full immunity, regardless of what they do. So y'all can go out and basically do Grand Theft Auto to Black folk and get away with it. That's what he's saying. Y'all can go out in the street, turn America into a no man's land and just kill all of us, people of color, and make this a full white nationalist country because they get mad because they becoming the minority. So when people out here start talking this shit about Kamala and all that, I said, look, child, we ain't got time. I ain't got time for your water cooler shittles and your hypotheticals and all that other mess. We're going to get into that. I don't want to jump on that too quick because we are coming up with, that's probably the next story because we got to talk about Elisabeth. Hassel Snatch. That's what I call her, that witch. I can't stand her. So she ain't invited to the cookout, and I'm like, y'all, Black people could be so damn gullible at times in regards to that. So it's like, no, she's not invited. So yeah, she wishes she was white, but girl, you will never be white. She had been banned for the barbecue, and if she do come to the barbecue, she's gonna be din. She's going to be din. I was thinking of whatever happened to Baby Jane when I said she's going to be din. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about where is it? Let's talk about this witch. So Elisabeth, who apparently is not getting a lot of coverage anywhere, whatever, decided to go on Hannity's show and throw shade at her former her former co-host of The View. I don't even think she was ever on the panel with them at the time. I think the only one she was on the View with might have been Whoopi, and it might have been Joy, but the other ones, no, because I don't think she ever did The View with Sunny Hostin and the rest of them. So apparently, she's mad at the women of The View for supporting Kamala Harris. So Elisabeth appeared on Fox News show Hannity to call out her former co-host at The View for their support of Kamala Harris. Hasselbeck said The View is, of course, doing what The View does best. They're going to pump the girl candidate no matter what. Elisabeth, and this is what I be calling her, that's not what it says, is coming for her former co-host at The View for placing their support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, Hasselbeck was a... Wait, why is this showing... Oh, yeah, I see what it is. So it said Hasselbeck was a guest on Fox News Hannity on Tuesday, where the conservative political commentator said she was glad she was not on the ABC talk show when they expressed their opinion. Girl, don't nobody want your ass there. That's why you wasn't there. That's why she was glad. Don't nobody want your ass at The View. You would have got dragged down to the floor, especially by Ana Navarro. Don't even give me something. Well, you would have been able to... Y'all think a split screen would have been epic between her and Rosie O'Donnell? Can you imagine her sitting up there and getting read down to the floor by Ana Navarro? She wouldn't have been able to take it. She'd have been whining to that producer I can't stand. What's his name? The one that be producing the show? Brian Tedder. I don't particularly care for him. She would have been whining him. I mean, bitch, if you gonna step in the ring, nuck if you buck, is what I say. If you're gonna be able to sit out here and sell this mess over at Fox News, and you gotta remember, if you're gonna get in the ring with a bunch of liberals and even someone like Ana Navarro, who is a Republican but is not a Trump-publican, then you got to be able to debate some people instead of just sitting up there with a bunch of people that nod their head and spread a bunch of hate and vitriol, which clearly is showing in them lines you got in your face. Ain't enough amount of makeup that you can have, and all that sheen that you got in that face can hide them wrinkles, sis. So she also slammed the mainstream media for being in manipulation mode, with coverage shifting away from Donald Trump's assassination attempt to Joe Biden stepping down from the presidential race and now Harris's run for presidential candidate for the Democratic Party. She said that's why this announcement came right now. They don't want us talking about what happened. They don't want us talking about a resilient man who faced a near assassination and stood up with resiliency. Girl, how much are they paying you to say this foolishness? She said, so what do? A text break up and switcheroo. Oh God, you could tell she's such a white woman from the Midwest. A switcheroo. And here we are today. And The View is, of course, doing what The View does best. They're going to pump the girl candidate no matter what, when all of a sudden gender matters to them. In addition to slamming the show as a whole, Hasselbeck singled out Ana Navarro in particular for being a woman who supports a party that has been all about gender fluidity. And now we're supposed to believe that gender is a pillar for our voting reasoning. You got to be kidding me. The former View co-host said the Democratic Party wants it both ways, and they believe that they have it both ways in every category of life. And the answer is no, you can't. This basically sounds like some shit that, when clear people get in their whole situation, they get mad because things aren't going their way, but they want to use, hate and vitriol and ignorance and bigotry to go at people and deny people rights. You want to deny gay people rights. You want to deny black people rights. You want to deny women rights. You want to deny young people rights. You want to deny everybody rights because, like I said, y'all favorite equation is subtraction. Y'all don't never having a solution for anything. And I have to say this, at the end of the day, yes, Kamala is not perfect in a lot of situations, but look, she's better than the alternative. And I don't understand why there's so many people out here who are getting all upset to my, well, if you don't come out and fully support Gaza and the ceasefire, then I'm not voting for you. Sis, we have so many other bigger fish to fry. We got to worry about no shade. And I already told y'all, I'm with y'all 1,000% when it comes to what's happening to the people in Gaza and using our taxpaying dollars to kill people. This shit been going on since the March of Dimes. So it ain't just all of a sudden they've been using our money to take out people, Palestinians. They've been using our money and our taxes for a lot of things, both sides that I don't necessarily agree with. But this is the hand that we've been dealt at this moment. So I want to give a shout out to Angelica Ross because she basically summed up my feelings in regards to this whole situation. She said, I'm voting for Kamala. This is not an endorsement nor a debate. It's what I believe is the best choice for now until I or someone else figures a viable alternative solution. There are plenty of other options, but the current condition of our society is limited. It's not even about the candidates. It's about us. It's about you. It's about me. In addition to voting, what will you do with your life to create change? And I think that is where we need to look at it. People like Elisabeth and them, they were so happy with this win that we're going to just do hate whatever because Elisabeth's good with her money. She's good in her situation with her Tim and her fucking kids and her coins and all the other stuff. So she's not going to be affected by all this stuff. She's at an age where, she's pro-choice. Her eggs is probably powdered at this point. She ain't bringing no more damn kids in the world. So the whole abortion thing does not affect her. All these other things, it doesn't affect her. But for a party that is about limited government, why are y'all running around trying to tell us what we can do with our bodies? It's like, child, I even cackled today because I saw and I reposted it on my Twitter page, the Chris Avalon _ that there was these Christians that were upset over Deadpool and Wolverine. So, they're making fun of God and all. I'm like, what drugs are y'all on? Like y'all people with your sky daddies and imaginary, deities, y'all are fucking weird. Now I do believe in energy and higher power and all that other stuff, but the things that these fake ass, religious folks and these Christians, y'all are the most ungodly people I have ever encountered. And shout out to Alyssa Farrah Griffin, who revealed on Watch What Happens Live, because I saw that clip since we in the view bag, where she was talking about how the weirdest thing that Donald Trump came up with during his campaign, he wanted Kanye West to do a sermon to unite the people. He wanted him to do like a church something because he had a Sunday service. And Alyssa was like, I don't think that's a good idea. But you can imagine like this idiot just going, it would be great? Because I think whenever I hear Donald Trump, I hear Doofy from Scary Movie. I just hear like somebody who just mentally, give him the helmet, put him in the back of the short bus so we don't bang his head on the cheese bus. That's what Donald Trump gives me. Just very much mentally something wrong with him. And just slow. So speaking of slow, I just don't understand. Elisabeth, where the fuck have you been in regards of this whole thing of talking about how, now they're using gender politics and stuff. First of all, the women of The View don't even have to do that. Just JD Vance alone opening his mouth is enough to push away women, particularly his comments about childless cat ladies, which they've decided to make, for some godforsaken reason, Taylor Swift the mascot for that. And I love the fact that somebody said that they appreciate the fact that I've been very neutral in regards to my opinions on Taylor Swift. Y'all already know I don't get the music. I'm not a fan. I do like 1989 because it's pop oriented, but for the most part, I'm not a Swiftie. But I did say that, you know what? Unlike JD Vance, who allegedly, I believe, brings his knee pads to every meeting to get all the millions of dollars that he's gotten under the guise of that queen that runs PayPal. Taylor Swift ain't never had to bring her knee pads to a meeting. She's literally the epitome of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and making a name of herself through her hard work, dedication, and her business savvy. So, say what you want about Taylor Swift, and believe me, I have. But I can give people their credentials and their kudos when they need, when need be. And so, Elisabeth, go sit your dumb, flat, non-existent having ass down somewhere because you sound like the fool in regards to this whole thing. And trust and believe, you wouldn't have the balls to say what you said on The View and have all 6 women up there when she's up there pumping up her, slipping all that crap out her mouth. You better be glad I'm not on The View. Would you like an invite, sis? So, View people, get up on it, get her thin-haired, dusty, dry-ass, root-having ass on that show and let's see her go toe to toe with them ladies. She wouldn't last 5 minutes. And if y'all talking about split screen, y'all better have like 7 of them up there. Y'all might have to do like a Zoom meeting with the boxes, regardless of getting all the reactions. Because Elizabeth, you just looking for a moment. And just like a lot of these Republicans, and y'all getting mad because y'all realizing that you've ignited the base of the Democrats. Because I will admit, before Joe Biden stepped out, we all, I think, were nervous. We were scared. We were anxious. We were feeling hopeless because it was like, yeah, his old ass up in there. And y'all talk about ageism or whatever. It was like, no, he's not tapping into a lot of the bases. He's losing so many people. So, yeah, with Kamala coming in, she's in the middle. She's in her late 50s. So she's got my parents and she's got my base and she's got, Gen Z. She's got the millennials. She's got Gen X. She's got some of the boomers. She's getting everybody. She's even got white women donating money and coming in her direction. She's got a lot of the black male vote. She's got a lot of black women behind her. So Kamala is saying all the things. And I know people's getting mad because and I am pissed at her with this. I will say this about Kamala because, I got to be fair. I am upset with her over putting out that statement condemning the protesters who were outside of Congress going at that freaking fascist and warmonger, Benjamin Netanyahu, or BB. Hey, baby girl. I'm mad at her over that. Girl, you should have just kept it quiet. I would have never put that shit out. But of course, I guess when you want that Jewish coin, this is what she's going to say. She's going to say those things because you're trying to hit every bait. Don't do that because now it's going to make you look bad in the eyes of the protesters. But look, it seemed like she got everything on lock. We don't have time to play around with our democracy. Our democracy, depends on this whole situation. We get Kamala in, that's when we can go and hold her feet to the fire in regards of what we want in regards of a better future. So that's what we have to come at it. Don't be like Cardi B's stupid ass talking about, well, if you don't give a ceasefire, if you don't say we getting a ceasefire, I'm not voting for you. Girl, you got more commitment issues than anything. So she can keep running behind Offset constantly cheating on her. But this whole situation with you and the ceasefire, that's the ultimate deal breaker. Fuck out of here. So anyway, with me cussing and just losing my day, this is how politics get me. It just get me so damn heated. In the words of Beyonce, heated. So anyway, let me get off of this. I'm over it. I need to rejudge my whole situation because I'm on fire today when it comes to the politics. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we are halfway through the show right now. So before we get to the rest of the topics, please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. So, they have comments because I gotta scroll up. Yeah, when you could have been, Chad, you could have been came back. I was like, you could have just muted the TV. I mean, muted your TV, muted your phone, whatever the case was. While I was doing my Deadpool and Wolverine thing, because I know you said you didn't want to see this, you ain't want no spoilers. I've done a great job of not doing spoilers. One friend actually I saw put it up there about the spoilers, and people was pissed. I knew they was gonna be mad. Like, why you did that on a Saturday? You can at least wait until today or Monday. But and the spoiling stuff about who was in there, people were like, well, damn, why'd you have to put that in your heading? So I was like, I'm so glad I went to go see the movie when I saw it. Because that's fucked up. And I've done a great job of avoiding Twitter and all these other places that I knew was going to reveal the stuff. I said, damn it, my TV paused. You look like a horror. Oh, damn. It said, you look like a horror character. I'm mad I couldn't take a picture. I'll describe it in a message. The fact her and Whoopi are best friends. I don't get Whoopi either because sometimes I'm like really side eyeing her with some of the people she says she's friends with. Because I don't agree with that. It's like and this has been an ongoing debate with people in my comments. It's like, yeah, I could be friends with people who have different opinion, but not when it affects my livelihood. Not when you trying to come at me as a woman, as a person of color, as a homosexual, as a trans woman or male, as and anything. All the demographics that these white folks, hate, which is anything other than what they are. But I've come to the realization, y'all think a lot of it, I wish there were people that have more empathy for others, but I realize that we are in a society that people are just selfish. There's a lot of people that just I don't, if it don't affect me, I don't care. So now it's like people, because of what Trump said in regards to the whole Sonia Massey situation. Now all of a sudden I see a lot of black people waking up. Oh no, now he's taking it too far. Where the fuck have y'all been? Like what is his too far? There is no bottom with him. There's no rock bottom. There's no too far. He's just gonna say and do whatever. And he's been trying, it's like he's been doing like a comedy bit on his rallies. He's been trying to find ways of trying to come at Kamala with a stupid name like Sleepy Joe and all this stuff, or calling her dumb as a box of rocks, whatever the hell he's been saying. And it's not been working. You can't come for her. I said, yeah, but I'm not surprised. Oh, you said Joy, Whoopi, Sherry, and Barbara. Yeah, that was the dynamic when she was on there. And don't forget, when she was on there, there was Rosie O'Donnell. That's when they had that epic, fight with the split screen. How ironic, she's going on Fox to complain when Fox backs Trump. No, that's kind of been her bad, because I remember at one point, um, Elisabeth was on Fox News. I think she was on Fox and Friends at one point as one of the co-hosts. It was like a View show, but for conservative. It's funny how y'all can't stand the View, but y'all basically use the blueprint that Barbara Walters created to be out here creating your own type of shows. They even had a show called The Five with Geraldo and that no neck fucking judge Janine Pirro and a bunch of them. Yeah, I don't care about her, but when she was talking about The View, that's why I had to come in and, do the article. Last panel with Barbara. Yeah, the fact that she hates Rosie O'Donnell, but Rosie showed Elisabeth true colors. The fact is, Navarro and Alyssa would annihilate her. She and Nutmeg, or perhaps. Oh, yeah, and look, shout out to Nutmeg. And, I don't particularly care for Nutmeg McCain, but she even come out and said Trump is making a huge mistake. Well, it's because he's turning off women, including her Trump-supporting conservative friends. He's losing that audience. And now it's like you're trying to find a way to bring them back. But the problem with Trump is he's so crazy and unhinged that he can't help himself. He'll go and read the teleprompter for I don't even understand why do y'all even create a speech for his ass. He don't never read the whole damn thing. He'll be on the speech for 2 seconds and then just go off script and just start saying a whole bunch of other shit. And he thinks it's cute or whatever, and it works because he thinks that he's going to be a repeat with Kamala that he had with Hillary Clinton. That was you know how long ago that was? The times they are changing or have changed. People aren't like that anymore. A lot of boomers are dead. A lot of, they're not around no more. So those people that was for Trump ain't alive. And you've got more Gen Zers and Gen Alphas coming in than ever before. So a lot of young people are eager to vote. It said Kamala made $200 million in donations in 1 week, as she should, and didn't have to look towards, billionaires, million. And that was another thing that pissed me off too. So y'all mad about Netflix endorsing Kamala Harris when the CEO of Netflix has endorsed Democratic campaigns for eons. Y'all just now paying the fucking attention. But y'all not mad at Elon Musk giving money to Trump? Make it make sense. I don't want to say, it's just funny. It's like y'all point, every finger y'all point, the 4 other fingers is pointing back at yourself. And it's so obvious. And they said, but these same Christians love Donald. Oh, because they're not real Christians. Toast to J.D. Vance for pissing his own people and buyer's remorse. Absolutely. And it's just like, J.D. Vance offers nothing to their campaign. And now they're saying that they're regretting picking him because they didn't know the checkmate move that the other team was going. But guess what? You endorsed him, you picked him. That's your pick. That's just stuck with him. It's basically Sarah Palin 2.0. I wonder if you can see Russia from his house. So Miss Peter Thiel is known to be in an open marriage. Of course he is. You think that husband going to not be in an open marriage with Peter Thiel? And child, I wouldn't be surprised if JD is the third, allegedly. I'm not judging, but that's not family. And please, they don't believe in family. A lot of the time, these so-called Republicans do not believe in the core values that they present. They hate gay folks, but y'all be the main ones on Grindr looking to get y'all knobs slobbed undercover and then be making people sign NDAs. You talk about marriage and family values, but y'all be the main ones out here laying alone and spreading it wide with your diseases and cheating on your wives and doing all the other things. So this is why I be laughing. It's the hypocrisy and the fact that y'all just play into these less than smart people that support y'all because y'all play into their hatred for the other. They lack critical thinking. One of the things I excelled at in college, shout out to my sociology teacher, because critical thinking was my main thing. It was even in film school, we had to take other electorates and stuff. We couldn't just do full film school stuff. So I had to take social justice classes as a part of my curriculum. And I loved my sociology class. I excelled in that. And my teacher worked for the counterterrorist unit. So when I remember I did my whole thing about religious hypocrisy and stuff, I got an A in college. Let me going back in the day. This is like 15 years ago when I was in college. They say, yeah, these MAGA people want Trump to drop. Well, it's not gonna happen because it's too late. Y'all can't come in and keep trying to change the narrative to fit your own narrative. And it don't matter because it's like, even with JD Vance, they like, common sense tells you when it comes to politicians, and this is why the Democrats are doing it right. It's like Kamala has the base that she needs. She has all the things down locked, but her choice that she's going to pick, which I'm hoping is the governor of Pennsylvania, is that you have to pick somebody that could be a counter to what it is you're doing, that could expand on your other ideas. You don't pick the same person. But Trump is so in his own head of, I need loyalists. I need people that's just going to do whatever I want and not challenge my opinion on things or whatever it is that I do, that y'all didn't expand on your base. You basically got a carbon copy, a younger, fatter, because they both fat, carbon copy version of yourself. Someone just posted at 50 Cent. 50 Cent's a fucking idiot. Fuck him. And nobody cares about 50 Cent. He's a troll. Nikki is sending her base a cease and desist letter because she's not voting for. Wait, huh? Somebody said she's voting for Nikki Haley. Oh, she's not voting for Kamala Harris. Why would she send? Nikki's not is sending whose base? Is she sending Kamala Harris's base a cease and desist, or is she sending her fans a cease and desist? They said, "Oh yeah." So you said Kamala Harris. Hey, Miss Tara D, how you doing? And they said my mom deleted social media because of. Yeah, sometimes these people be annoying with the social media. Or I just avoid certain places that I know is going to spoil it. But at Facebook, it's just as worse. That is the mentality of a lot of people nowadays. If it doesn't affect me, oh well, exactly. So all these people out here talking about, well, she's going to lose the Gen Z vote. I was like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because for the most part, people are selfish. Most people only care about um, things that only affect them. If it affects them, and then a lot of it is like, there are people out here that we see genuinely do care about what's happening in Palestine and Gaza and all that stuff. But for the most part, people are selfish. People only care about their own self-interest and what it does for them. This is why they have a lot of these, the Black Caucus organization, the NAACP, you have these women organizations, you have GLAAD, you have all these other people who jump in and back these people because they know they're going to get something out of it. Sexual pleasure, atheists, not wanting to be parents, letting their trauma be part of their life instead of absolutely. But it's hard because according to Tyler Perry, that's why he make his movies, because a lot of us can't afford therapy. So we got to watch a Tyler Perry movie to overcome our therapy, which I guess ain't working clearly, because if it was working, you wouldn't need to make the same damn script over and over and put a new damn actor up in it. And yes, that was a stray he had to catch. I can't stand her either. Why do these blondes just be dumb as hell? Tony Lauren even said the GOP can't get comfortable. It's different. It shifted to, well, yeah. And what did they think? When you get, look, it's, in the words of Nene Leakes, you can never win when you play dirty. Also, that Project 2025 waking their ass. Absolutely. And I know a lot of people ain't going to read on the 900 some pages. That's why I applaud a lot of the TikTokers and stuff. And what's another thing, too, is that I think also Gen Z is waking up. And this is where I believe Biden couldn't get that audience, because there's a lot of people, and I've been posting the videos on my social medias, and I've been reposting on TikTok as well. Biden has been using a lot of, there's been a lot of people who've been making Kamala think pieces and debunking a lot of the stories that have been going around about her, especially in regards of her locking up thousands of Black men. They were like, no, that's not true. It was 45. And if they weren't all Black. So people still running around with this narrative. And I'm like, please, y'all, Google is free. Like, it's not going to cost you to do the research. Or at least if you don't want to do all the research, there's a lot of TikTok videos that y'all can watch out here that are really out here debunking a lot of what is being said about her. So is she perfect? No. But as I said earlier, especially when it came to what Angelica Ross said, she is what we need right now. And once she gets in office, at least there's reasoning that we can come to at the table in regards of making our country a better future, and possibly no longer funding these you know, countries and giving them money, our taxpaying dollars, to drop bombs on other places for whatever the reason is. Oil, land, the whole colonization thing, which quiet as it's kept is what a lot of America's been built on. We really want to go there. Because hello, Native Americans lived here first. Indigenous people, I know. I am of the indigenous community, but that's what I even say with that whole thing. If we really want to unpack stuff, we can do that. But I don't want to do that because we got a lot of topics to get to. And it's like, yeah, I saw someone ask that they think Vance could be replaced. And I was like, yeah, you're stuck. Like, I don't think you could be replaced. Like, how you just gonna be like, oh well, now because they switched up their thing, which you can do, because Biden was not officially the nominee. But then I'm confused because they both had them running. But then if they kept saying, yeah, step down, and the Republicans was up there saying, yeah, Biden needs to step down. Y'all didn't come to the table and say, well, you can't pick this person. And they kept saying Kamala was the better chance. Or, well, y'all had to get her out there. But then it was like, oh, yeah, they had her in the background for a long time. So now all of a sudden she want to come out. I said, yeah, because that was, first of all, that was Democrats' fault. Y'all were trying to push her in the background and not really have her really out here letting us get to know her, because to me, it was like an ego thing. It's like, yeah, you had us the VP, which it looked like it was just for, just for show, whatever the case was. We wasn't really getting the gift of Kamala side. But guess what? At this point, because we're familiar with her and we know she's the VP, she's got 3 months to introduce herself to us and to figure out who, what that is and how we can really get into knowing who she is and what her record is and her personality. Lots of our favorite bears. Sergeant Miles was part of the January 6th. So your adult film stars gay. Oh yeah, there's been a lot of adult film stars who've been clocked for jumping into that. Oh, you said, yeah, Nikki Haley. Oh, wait, they said that she was voting for Nikki. Wait, voters for Nikki Haley went to um yeah, she lost that vote. As soon as she went and sat up there and bend the knee and kissed the ring of Trump at the Republican National Convention, like the liar and the fool shit. But Nikki Haley has shown us who she has been many a times. Her fan base was pissed. So now they're trying to say, oh, they want to swap out JD Vance and get her in there. No, you decided you want these people to kiss your ass and tap dance for you. And they did it at the RNC. They bend the knee. But you still didn't pick them. You picked this idiot. So now that's what you're stuck with. So you fucked yourself. You shot yourself in the foot because you would listen to them donors, them billionaires that was funding your campaign, the Peter Thiels, who I'm sure was the one that told you to pick them. Because Trump didn't even know J.D. Vance's name. So that's what goes to show, like, he's just the face. These other people that's pulling the strings behind the scenes, they're the one that's controlling the narrative. It's the Manchurian candidate. I found, I guess, that the Nikki Haley is fully. Yeah, that's why I forgot. We supposed to call her Nimrata. That's her name, Nimrata Haley. Well, I don't know what the last name is. I think Haley. I don't know if that's her husband name or I don't know much about her. I just know that the lady lies a lot. Lady lies a lot. And maybe that's what we should start calling her. That's her Native American name. Lady lies a lot. I can make that joke. I'm indigenous. So, um, yeah, that's what we call her, Nimrata, because it's like you sit up here, you try to assimilate, making yourself like you a full-fledged white woman, but you going against your own interests. Anything to win. That's what they do. That's a lot of what these politicians do. Even the Democrats do it. They're no innocent. They just clever with their shit. The Republicans, they just on Front Street with theirs. Now the vice president has to be the perfect one to make Vance look stupid. Yeah, so I know people are saying Pete Buttigieg. I don't necessarily, because the thing is, he's the counter to JD Vance. JD Vance was in the military, but I believe he was like in the medic department. Um, Pete Buttigieg was actually in the field. So if he could debate him, and I remember I saw him on Bill Maher, he read JD Vance down to the floor. So in that department with the military and all other stuff, he can go at JD Vance toe to toe. But my pick is still the governor of Pennsylvania. So, oh yeah, it definitely won't be hard to do that. So she's campaigning and doing more stuff than Biden was. Well, that we know of. And Biden was old. So they said, like, in his one term, he has done a lot for the country and stuff, especially like with the unemployment and all other stuff. But yeah, the problem I've always said with Democrats is the messaging. Y'all take too much time. Y'all do the work, but y'all don't brag and boast and put it out there. And to be honest, a lot of people are stressed out, and with the inflation and everything, and the home, the rising rents and all that other stuff. people don't necessarily have time to go on social media and figure out what it is that y'all are out here doing. So you have to let people know what it is that you're doing in regards to the work. And otherwise, we're going to be in a place where they're going to be like, oh, they're not doing anything. This one's not doing this and this not doing that. Y'all have to let people know what y'all doing. Y'all could have been using the social media. That's your perfect angle to put out all your accolades. And Kamala has been doing a great job on this campaign trail, telling people what it is that Biden has been getting done and how she plans on expanding on that. So I'm glad that they're using this opportunity to get the message out. This is what y'all should have been doing from the beginning. So far, y'all got everything right. The whole thing of condemning the protesters, I'm still like, no, that was not a good thing. But everything else, yes. So far, y'all been on the right track. Okay, so let's move on. And I'm just like, what topics we should get? You know what? I might have to make some cuts. I'll save the Blair Underwood story for tomorrow because it's like, yeah, now I'm looking at the time and it's like, I do not want to be late for this movie. So oh yeah, you know what? And we'll save the Oprah stuff for tomorrow too. Speaking of ladies licks a lot. So we'll do that. And then we'll just skip right on down and talk about Elon Musk and his whole trans daughter throwing shade, since we're in that situation right now. So yeah, it's like, when you live, you got to make drastic decisions. So yeah, so we talked about it early in the week that Elon Musk basically talked about his child Vivian and said that his child is dead and kept dead naming the child and kept using male pronouns when Vivian identifies as female. I believe she's 20. I think she's 20. So he basically was saying all this stuff about Vivian. In my head, I'm sitting there thinking like the child actually died. But no, he's telling because the child decided to transition and become a woman because that's how they identify, that she is dead to him, I guess. So Vivian got on social media on that good old, didn't even go to Twitter. Now that's the ultimate shade. Yeah, and I told him when it comes to this heifer, since he like dead naming people, we dead name that website he done took over. It's not X, it's fucking Twitter. So Vivian went over on Threads, the competition, and threw a little shade at her shady ass father. So Vivian Wilson is fact-checking her own dad after billionaire Elon Musk made bigoted comments about her gender. The billionaire recently attacked her gender-affirming care in an interview with conspiracy theorist Jordan Peterson for conservative platform Daily Wire, claiming that the life-saving treatment killed his daughter while repeatedly misgendering her. Musk said that while his daughter wanted to begin transitioning, he was essentially tricked, I tell you, tricked, into signing documents before he had really any understanding of what was going on. This is what he said. Doctors told him that his daughter might commit or unalive herself, I should say, if she was prevented from receiving care. Saying, I lost my son. They call it dead naming for a reason. This is what he had said. The reason is called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son is dead, killed by the woke mind virus. Now, Wilson has since responded to Musk's assertions on Threads, the rival of his platform, Twitter, saying that her biological father's claims are so blatantly false that she just started to find it funny at this point. Saying, calling me dead on a podcast with Jordan Peterson, of all people, while basically admitting you have zero reading comprehension by saying you were tricked into signing documents that you read over multiple times is basically a parody of itself. She said, like, it's honestly camp. And it also said, in the words of Morgan McMichaels, I look pretty dead for a dead bitch. And then, of course, now they said Wilson has debunked some of Musk's other assertions about her, among them several homophobic stereotypes about her youth, including that she was a fan of musical theater. She wasn't. And picking out clothes for Musk to wear. She didn't. Musk also claimed that Wilson was born slightly autistic. Oh, you mean like her daddy? Because he said she was born slightly autistic. Now, word on the curb is Elon is on the spectrum. But I said, like, you know what? We can't do that to the people that's on the spectrum. Shout out to those of y'all that's on the spectrum. He ain't on no damn spectrum. He's just ignorant. Now, I said, this entire thing is completely made up and there is a reason for this. He doesn't know what I was like as a child because he quite simply wasn't there. And in the little time that he was, I was relentlessly harassed by femininity and queerness, Wilson wrote. Obviously, he can't say that, so I've been reduced to a happy little stereotype um, furthering along to use at his discretion. I think that says a lot about how he views queer people and children in general. Now, Wilson, who's 20, is one of 6 children, 5 living, must have with his first wife, model Justine Wilson. So, what's the thing is that um, she's actually a twin, as we showed in a photo when we first did this article. She has a twin, and then Justine wound up having triplets with um, Elon, which makes it 5 kids altogether. So she said she filed a petition in LA County Superior Court in April of 2022 to legally change her name and gender, citing the reason as gender identity and the fact that I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form. Wilson then shot back at her father's claims that she is not a girl, telling Musk to go touch some fucking grass. Oh, child, this is the one thing you got to realize about members of the LGBTs. When you try to come for us, child, we will drag your ugly ass down to the floor. And I have to say, future Elon Musk baby makers in the making, y'all need to realize who y'all stepping in bed with, because we got a video. I mean, we got an article next following up of one of his baby mamas, Grimes, coming to Vivian's defense. And the fact that she's going through her custody battle with Elon. She said, as for if I'm not a woman, sure, Jan, whatever you say, I'm legally recognized as a woman in the state of California, and I don't concern myself with the opinions of those who are below me, she wrote. Obviously, Elon can't say the same because in a ketamine-fueled haze, he's desperate for attention and validation from an army of degenerate red-pilled incels and pick-me's who are quick to give it to him. Child, I couldn't have read his ass better than myself. And you want to know something, Vivian? Clearly, you get your looks on your mother because Elon is as ugly on the outside as he is on the inside. And I got to give it up to her for throwing the ultimate shade at her stupid ass father, who, like she said, doesn't know her. So, the clapback was epic. I don't think I need to elaborate any more on that because Vivian did what needed to be done and read her stupid ass father down to the floor. But I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this tea? I was sitting here salivating about all I need is my popcorn so I could just live for the reads. Because reading is what? Fundamental, as they say. So anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comments of this story down below. Okay, so it said thoughts on the outrage of the upper. Wait, what happened with that? Because I told one of the things I have to say is that I'm not familiar with what was going on with the Olympics. I didn't have time to even look at the Olympics. I maybe glanced at some stuff that I saw on social media, like they were showing. I saw there was a couple of swimming and some gymnastics and things of that nature. I didn't even get to watch Lady Gaga's opening performance. I did save it on my YouTube queue, so I'm gonna watch it when I can get around to it. I didn't see Celine's performance, although I did see a footage of Celine Dion, like she was dancing around and flipping around her dress and everything. I'm like, oh, for somebody with stiff person syndrome, drugs as you want, because you were just living your best life. And she was moving around like she was full on giving Gene Kelly and Ginger Rogers roll up in one. So I was, I don't know what's going on with the whole outrage of the opening ceremony. Yeah. Oh, are you talking about, are you talking about the thing with the drag queens and um, the Last Supper and all the other stuff, and you had Nikki Doll running down the torch? If that's what you told me, I was cackling. I was living for it because it was like, yeah, let's piss off, all these fake people with their sky daddy beliefs and their fake church outrage and all this other stuff. Oh, and they don't have an agenda, and y'all the fuck don't. Y'all don't have an agenda. So the same agenda we LGBTs got over here, the same agenda you Christians got over there, or you fake ass Christians. Because if y'all really was all about Jesus, Jesus hung out with, as they say, the degenerates and all the other people that y'all thumb your nose down on. Right? Y'all do know that. He hung out with the bums and the homosexuals and all those other people. He's a billionaire now. You not know what you're. That's what I was saying in the last story. It's like you have a team of attorneys. You have a whole bunch of people that is like, okay, and I'm sure he can read. He's BSing. You just sat up there and fed a whole lie to fill a narrative over at the conservative people. And this is all stemming from because, they passed that bill, Gavin Newsom, in California, where it's like where kids don't have to disclose, their transition and all that other stuff to their parents. And people are upset about it. Parents are upset about it. How's the government interfering with my beliefs and my affairs and my personal matters? Well, tell that over there to them Republicans that's trying to do that right now and deny y'all rights. It's funny how y'all mad about this, but you're not mad about all the other stuff Trump's trying to do to our country. Now, speaking of Elon Musk, let's get into his ex Grimes, who is coming to her to Vivian's defense. Well, I don't know if they was married, so I don't know if I can consider her a stepdaughter or whatever the case is. But yeah, so Grimes, who was a musician and Elon's ex, has spoken out in support of the tech billionaire's trans daughter Vivian Wilson, who goes by Villainous, or is it Villainous, on Instagram and Threads, after he claimed that she was killed by the woke mind virus. Now, Canadian musician Grimes, who dated Musk for years and is the mother of 3 of his children, declared on Twitter, "I love it and forever endlessly proud of Vivian." This is what she, but it says the Twitter platform is owned by Musk. We already know that. And Mark Zuckerberg's rival organization, Meta, is owned by Threads. We already know that. So they said the post has been viewed over 3 million times at the time of writing and has over 85,000 likes. And shout out to Pink News, because this is where I got the story from. So in response to the comments suggesting that people shouldn't change what God created, Grimes said, "God gave us hands to build cathedrals, rockets to the moon. It's clearly divine to make use of God's greatest gift to humanity, which is creativity." This comes after Musk said that he was tricked into allowing Vivian to take puberty blockers. Now, speaking of Jordan Peterson, we already said that his daughter no longer speaks to him. Of course, because you've been a freaking asshole, according to Vivian, who we played in the last article on them, where she was like that when you were never around, and when you were, you would mock her, pre-transition for being feminine. So you were calling her all kinds of, homophobic slurs and making fun of how feminine that they were before they before they came to the revelation that they were trans and decided to go through what they needed to go through to fully transition to how they, on the outside as they feel on the inside. So Musk said, we didn't even read what he said because it was a bunch of BS. So Wilson published a series of posts on Twitter's rival platform Threads under her villainous handle in response to her father's comment. She said, "Last time I checked, I am indeed not dead. I look pretty good for a dead bitch." She also claimed that Musk is an absentee father and that he went to the Milo Yiannopoulos School of Gay Stereotypes, saying, "I've been reduced to a happy little stereotype to use at his discretion. I think that says a lot about how he views queer people and children in general." She added that she is legally recognized as a woman in the state of Cali and doesn't concern herself with the opinions of those who are below her. And Grimes previously revealed that she and Musk had a big, long conversation after he shared a slew of anti-trans tweets in 2023, saying, "I was like, I want to dissect why you were so stressed about this. Getting to the heart of what Elon says helped me get to the heart of what other people's issues are, because it's this Uber guy situation." So it's kind of making me wonder, did any one of his women, the women that he's been with, cheat on him with a trans person? Because I seen the only reason why a lot of y'all really be out here windmilling. Because remember, the reason why they say Kim Burrell allegedly is going after all these gays and hates us so much because her husband left her for a man. I mean, but isn't usually that fat women are usually the smoke screen for a lot of gay men when they really want to get with who they want to get with? Look at Star Jones and How You Doing. Same thing with her and them crooked wigs and that dusty makeup. Or that maybe there's some tendencies that you're trying to fight, or you just mad because your man left you for someone of the same gender. Or why a lot of times people be windmilling so hard and going and be hating on the trans people because they feeling threatened. They think these trans women are trying to come out here and corrupt your men and trying to steal your men, when it's like it's your men that be out here wanting the best of both worlds, titties at the top and dick at the bottom. So y'all run around trying to get with that because it's a fetishist type thing, a fetish type of situation where y'all want to get all up in that. So I'm glad that Grimes came out and speaking out on Elon, and I've heard they're in a nasty custody battle because apparently Elon having the money that he has. This reminds me a lot of the Kelly Rutherford situation. Remember her from Gossip Girl? That she was in a relationship, I believe, with a billionaire, and he went and took their son and left the country with the kid, and she's been fighting for years. I don't remember if she got him back or whatever the case was. I think she was able to work something out finally, but he was able, because of his money and his influence and his power, able to keep the kid away from Kelly Rutherford. Same thing what I'm hearing Elon is doing with Grimes, that apparently he has been using his children as a pawn and a weapon to keep them away from Grimes, and has been, and this is according to Vivian, saying that he's been an absentee father. He's not in the lives of Grimes' children, or he has them in his custody while he's off doing his little ketamine and all them other drugs. Because when you look, and he definitely looks like he, snorts all kinds of drugs go out that nose. So I say all this to say, I do want to get more information on the whole Grimes Elon situation and find all that out. But yeah, it's a mess. And to me, it just shows like, you trying to rival Nick Cannon with having all these damn kids, but you're not really partaking in these kids' lives, or you're using yourself as a weapon to have control over the relationships you have with your exes or whatever, using your kids as a pawn. And to me, that's ugly. And at the end of the day, those kids are gonna grow up and hate you and resent you. So I'm definitely feeling like years from now, when the kids get older, I don't know how old all of them are, but when they all get of age, I'm sure we're gonna hear a lot of stories about how Elon's a horrible freaking parent. So I saw this say, what do y'all think of this story? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so Onyx says Grimes is that girl. She has bobs. Her attachment to that man just ruins her life. You know what? That's kind of what made me not get into her fully, is because of that. It's like, I like the weirdness of Grimes. She reminds me of Curly and so many of those other type of girls, but I didn't particularly care for, because she got with him, that kind of ruined her for me. But anyway, child, let's get into this story. And let's talk about Miss Willam, who opened up on her Race Chasers podcast about being kicked off of DragCon. So, we already talked about it. We played the clip of the show. One of the things I was mad about was that when I played the clip of stuff off of YouTube, y'all heard the audio, right? Because I remember when I watched it back after I recorded it, there was no sound, but I could hear it in my headphones, and the audio was actually playing and stuff. So I don't understand why there was no audio in the playback. But nevertheless, y'all saw the video. She was showing footage of her at DragCon, and she revealed that she was kicked out. So then we knew it was only a matter of time before she was going to go to the Mom Network, which she co-owns with Alaska, and they were going to spill tea in regards of, she was going to spill tea in regards of what happened over at Moguls Media, at DragCon, and the whole drama. It is a long clip, so we're going to play that, and then we'll come back and we'll give our opinion on what happened. So please hold as we get to that clip.
DragCon happened last weekend.
Oh, that was last weekend?
Uh-huh.
How was it? Was it fun?
It was so much fun. It was actually my favorite DragCon that I've done.
I tried to get to your booth, but they almost arrested me. But you were on the opposite side of where Adore was, which is where I was hanging out. And
yeah, I was over on the other
your
side.
merch was so cute. Those blue hats. I saw everybody in them.
Yeah.
Fur hats for summer.
Well, of course, in July. For July. It's drag.
Were you there for setup day too?
No.
Oh, well, that's good, because you know why? On setup day, they chose to not turn on the air conditioning because it would have cost the person putting on the convention some money. So it was over 80 degrees. Someone clocked it at 84 degrees inside the convention center on the one setup day that they allowed. It used to be 2 setup days. Now it's only 1, no more Sundays. And they didn't see it fit to give people air after they moved DragCon from May to the hottest month in LA in the summer, July. So I was glad I didn't have a booth, because I would have been perturbed. And you know me, I don't handle perturbedness well.
Well, it seems like you were perturbed anyway.
There were
booth or no booth.
Yeah, I had some definite issues, but I want to talk about the good things of DragCon first.
So what were the good things of DragCon?
The good things at DragCon that I saw were, Shay's red look
Mm.
Well, maybe I can just go through my whole DragCon experience because there were good things in there.
Yeah.
It'll also detail some of the things that went awry.
Yeah.
So I got to DragCon right around like 9 a.m. I got a pass from a door to go in because those passes are, for whoever they want to give them to in their booth and on their staff. So got in that way, right through the front door. Everybody saw me. And then I hung out at Adore's booth, finished my nails, went to Jimbo's booth, said hi, walked around a little, walked by RuPaul's meet and greet area. There was one person sitting on the ground. I made a little video where I walked up, like joking with her book. She wasn't there. But this is the first year she did meet and greets, huh? For like, and signings like that?
I feel like she's done it before.
She has?
Mhm.
Okay.
She doesn't do it every time, but
Okay.
yeah, that was special this year.
Because there was a girl on roller skates who that I was talking to, and she was roller skating all day on Saturday, and then on Sunday she didn't-
Rolanda Cox?
yeah, Rolanda.
Yeah.
And then Sunday
She
they
came by and said hi.
they didn't let her roller skate, and she didn't have shoes because they let her roller skate all day on Saturday she didn't have shoes, and Rue was like, no shoes. And she's like, oh yeah, I usually roller skate. And Rue's like, I roller skate at work all the time. And she was like, well, they wouldn't let me this year. And then Rue got the nod to the security and they got rid of her after meet and greet, she said. So no roller skates, no wheels, unless you're RuPaul, apparently.
Okay.
Wandering around, go to Jimbo's booth, say hi, see a couple other people. And then I'm like, okay, it's the Queen's Walk. Let me go backstage for the Queen's Walk. There's something, I have this innate ability to know when there is a camera or an eye on me. I feel it. I was at Cats last month and from like 20 feet away, I could feel, I just turned and my friend Ty, the director of Titanic, was filming me. And like, he's like, baby, you feel it. You know when there's a camera. And I'm like, I do know. I can tell when someone's watching. As I was walking around the convention center, I was being tailed. I felt it. And I was like, that's fine. They're watching me. I get it. I'd watch me too. I would have kicked me out years ago for all the I said. That's true, but antagonistic. But every year I've bought a booth and paid for it full rate. In fact, last year I paid full rate for electric, booth, internet, and they didn't turn on my internet or electric until 10:34 in the morning, which means I missed out on 94 minutes of sales for VIPs, which is a lot. And it was strange because every booth around me had electric and internet, yet I didn't. It's like they were trying to thwart me or do something to make it so I would, I don't know what, but they got me the electric and the internet, and eventually they offered me a refund. The person in charge of DragCon, Marin, offered me a refund. And I took it, and they thought they were done with me after that. They didn't think I'd be back, but I was back, and I wanted to do the Queen's Walk. They wrote my name down on a little piece of paper once I went backstage. But as soon as that happened, JC checked me in, JC O'Day and JoJo, because I went with them. As soon as I got backstage behind the curtain for the Queen's Walk, Marin comes up to me and they say, we need to talk to you. I was like, we did this last year. What are we going to talk about now? Go get Gina. They're like, no, we need to talk to you. And I noticed there were policemen over her shoulder. I was like, oh, I'm being bounced. I can feel this because security guards can't get you out of a venue, or security guards can't trespass you. A police officer needs to trespass you. So I knew what was happening. So I was like, well, I'm not leaving unless I have my phone and my keys. And JoJo has them. They're out by the carpet on the Queen's Walk. So they're like, okay, we'll get Gina to get your friends. I was like, it's not my manager's job to know what my friends look like and to grab my keys for me. I'm not moving. And there were all these people around me. Nicole Page Brooks was one, and they weren't letting me in before that. And then it was because, they knew not to let me in. And I was a little shocked at that because Marin then said, well, this is a sold out event and you didn't RSVP, so we can't accommodate you. I was like, they're selling tickets at the door. It's not sold out. You're a liar. And they just wrote down Candace Cain's name on an index card for her to do the Queen's Walk, just like they did me 10 minutes ago when JC signed me up. So what's the problem here, really? And she's like, well, last year you had so much problems and demanded a refund. I said, I didn't demand a refund. You offered me one because as a vendor, you guys failed. You didn't get me my that I paid for every year. They're like, well, we didn't think you'd be back and we didn't know. And you have to tell us. I was like, you don't have to tell people. This is open to the general public and I'm a drag queen. Like, why wouldn't I be here? I belong here. They're like, you need to leave. You're a risk for the venue and the event. I said, okay, sure. So at that point, it goes from 4 cops to 6 to 9 to 11 and security guards. They're like encircling me, one more, like pinpointing. And it's like tactical. They circle you and then they close in and then they move. They make you move because they're not going to touch you. It sounds stupid that like I'm getting like caught up about it, but like it was really like not harrowing, but like all these drag queens around. Everybody's scared of them. I'm like, nobody wants to take a picture? Come on, Taste. Come on, Caramel. Take a picture. It's like, Adore, take a picture. Adore's like, I don't have my phone. Like, some of the girls wanted to help me, but nobody has their phone before the Queen's Walk. Everybody gives their phone to their friends so they could film it. So they were smart to get me when I went backstage away from the fans and the cameras. It was very much a con, and they did that, and I get it. I get why they don't want me there, but like I was there illegally. I was just trying to do the Queen's Walk, and then I was going to leave. Like I wasn't going to put myself in a place where I knew I would be unhappy with buying a booth and everything, but I want to participate. It's a drag event, and I'm not there for RuPaul. I'm there for all the fans that want to see me and love me. Just for that moment, even if it's a surprise, because I didn't have a booth. But I've made their event look really good in YouTube videos for the past like decade. People are like, DragCon looks fun. I want to go to it. I've seen your videos. I want to go to your booth. I want to play video games with you. I want to have fun. That did not happen on this day, because once I got outside with the cops, I was like, all right, let me catch y'all up. This person doesn't like me because last year they had to refund me because they were inept and they did not supply me with the things I paid for. And so they don't want me here, which is crazy. I'm obviously a drag queen. They can't handle all this fabulosity. I get it. So then they want to walk me to my car. They walk me to the wrong parking garage in 8-inch heels. And I'm like, you guys, all these cops, because by then when we got outside, it was like 6 cops. I was like, this is stupid. Like, I haven't been arrested for battery since like 2008. Why are you all here? And I knew I had no recourse and I couldn't do anything in that moment, because what am I going to do? Get taken down to the ground? Like, because I try to like run away or walk away? I didn't want that to be like the legacy. So my friends started filming and we got like the 6 cops around me while I was walking to the car, and like a moment there. So I do have a DragCon video. So people can see that if they'd like on my YouTube. It was weird to see RuPaul up in the sky while it was all happening in her booth in her cowboy hat. Like, she knew. And I hadn't posted the video of me walking up to her booth with her book while she wasn't there. So I was like, how did they know I was even here? I didn't even look like myself, really. I looked kind of like crazy. I had a weird headpiece by Casey Caldwell. Thank you, Casey. But they figured it out that I was there and they did something about it, which I get. I wouldn't want me at that event either if I was RuPaul. But I had a right to be there, I thought. I was wrong. It was their event. They can kick me out whenever they want. What else? Oh, I found out why they kicked me out. It wasn't because of just my normal stuff. It was because I talked about the litigation that they're possibly facing with the crew. And I found that out because a lot of people at World of Wonder still like me. Hi, guys who like me and listen. Thank you. We appreciate your ears. They told someone I'm very close with that I met working on Drag Race, them, and then they told me that it was because of that. Because their very real legal problems were being discussed by someone who they've had very real legal problems with. I guess that was too much for them and they just couldn't take, which is fine, because look at like Art Basel and Coachella. Those were fun for moments. And now it's all about like a little satellite like party, or what's the cool thing that's like near it. Like, nobody actually goes to like gay pride and really like goes to the parade. They're going to like a warehouse in Brooklyn to get or like, you know, a pool party or something. So like DragCon has kind of lost its newness and appeal for a lot of people in the way that this weekend it really showed. Everybody was like, no, I'm going to San Diego for Pride. Like, there were a lot of girls that like no Detox, no Latrice, no Sasha Velour, no Priyanka, no no Shangela, no. There were a lot of girls that weren't there that I expected. Was Sasha Colby there? No. Where were all the girls? They didn't want to come because it's not worth it to come anymore, because it takes a lot. It's in July now, in the hottest day when we're all working and touring for the summer. And if there's no incentive to come, like some girls get booth discounts, they get their booths for free, they get their travel paid for, they get their hotel paid for, and a lot of girls don't. And life doesn't have to be fair, and I get that, but if it can be fair and they choose to not make it fair, why? I don't get it. We're family, I thought, you know?
Well,
Okay. So we're gonna pause it there. I just had to find a good shot because it was about to dissolve. But yeah, so Willam said what she said and gave the full tea. I could have been like, oh well, yeah, I could have gave y'all a whole breakdown of everything, but I just thought it'd be interesting to hear it come out of Willam's mouth. If y'all want to see the full episode, you gotta head over to YouTube to what is it? Moguls of Media, MOM. And you can watch the full episode because I know they get into Jade from Little Mix and they talk about her new single and all that other stuff over there as well. So yeah, Willam said what she said. And you know what? She admits that, I antagonize a lot of times and I ruffle a lot of feathers and the people over there. So I'm glad she's self-aware. Even though I did have people that have been weighing in on this and they've been saying like, oh, well, what did she expect? Because when you've been over there poking the bear for so long that this is what's going to happen. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. When I went to DragCon in New York, the last one that they had before they stopped doing the East Coast, because I do agree with Willam, it's lost its essence, it's lost its sense of self. People really aren't going to DragCon like that anymore. I was surprised to see Bianca Del Rio was there, especially when she's always touring. And I do agree. Why did they move this to drag? Because I remember when I spoke to a friend of mine, they was like, guess when they moving DragCon? They moving into drag. I'm like, why? For why? Like y'all used to believe having it in what, May? So why the hell would you move it? It's the same thing where I don't get, like, y'all move Drag Race to the premiere to like January, the coldest damn time in New York, where you got these queens out and about. And then the first straw was when y'all moved it from Monday to Friday. When Monday, everybody knows is like a blackout day in regards of Broadway. And that whole thing, and it's the slowest day of the week in regards to the clubs. So people actually loved showing Drag Race in the beginning on Mondays because people on Broadway had the day off. That's the one day that they got off. It's Sunday, which is why they do three shows, I believe, on Sunday. They do 8 shows a week, which I believe is like what? Yeah, 8 shows a week. So I think it's like 2 on Sunday or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they do 8 shows a week. They get Monday off, and that was a lot of times, especially when I used to go to a lot of my friends when I used to go to Miss Cracker's show, where she would do her viewing parties and all that stuff before she got on Drag Race. We used to see all of that and stuff there. So people liked when it was on Monday because that was the slowest time of the week. The people would come to the bar because they could watch it. Now, a lot of people had logo, and it was a good night for the bars to make a lot of money. So when when we had that at one point, then they go and move it to Friday. I'm like, what's coming up with these decisions? So that's when we started to notice the corporate aspect of what Drag Race is coming. And I do feel like y'all have taken so much of the fun and the pizzazz. Now it's like this thing geared toward little kids. And I'm not saying drag ain't for kids or whatever the case is, but it just become like this Disney-fied ride, and y'all taking so much of the energy and the fun out of the show. And the fact of the matter is, they despise the fact that Willam has been out here spilling so much tea about Drag Race, and they hate it, and they even kind of like throwing shade in so many ways to Alaska for her association. But look, she was at DragCon. Alaska did her thing, and she performed a song that she did. I saw the video on YouTube, and I was cackling at her form. She did a song on pants or sweatpants. I did see that video. So Willam has always been a thorn in the ass of World of Wonder. But like I was saying before, when I was in New York, when they had it here in New York, Carmen Carrera was there. She's been deemed problematic. Gia Gunn was there, was deemed problematic. So there's been a lot of things. There have been a lot of queens who have shown up at Drag Race that have been problematic in the eyes of production that y'all have had up in there, no problem. All of a sudden this year, Willam's a nuisance. But look, I feel like this is going to be at the point that, yeah, people behind the scenes are tired of the bullshit and the shenanigans in regards of, World of Wonder and all the other stuff that people that work there, they be spilling tea to Willam, and she used her platform to spill a lot of behind the scenes tea, and it is what it is. So, yeah. So, I'm not, it's sad that this is where it's come to this point, and RuPaul clearly can be very vindictive when need be, and Willam told her side of the story. So, I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? and everything surrounding it. Willam finally said what she said. I don't think World of Wonder and the people behind the scenes are going to respond to what happened or whatever. Maybe there was some people there that'll probably weigh in and say whatever needs to be said. I doubt it, but I feel like this is not going to be a back and forth usual Drag Race beef type situation. So I feel like Willam going to say what she going to say on her website, which the good thing about being a pundit is that you can tell your shit and can't nobody tell you nothing, especially when it's your own business. But when you infiltrate those people's situation, this is unfortunately the card that you're going to be dealt. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I told you I was going to be a long one. And so I don't think Alaska deserves to be watched by WoW because she's associated with Willam. Alaska was quiet during this whole thing and not provoking Willam to talk down the company. Well, I think what it was that Alaska was offering Willam to tell her side of the story. And based off of, because I didn't listen to the whole podcast. The first time I heard it was I listened to it on Spotify. So I didn't, but then today when I was putting together the show, because I don't know, I was a little nervous because I was like, I wanted to play all the full audio from the Spotify thing, but I don't know. The last time I tried to do that from here, for some reason, the audio just wasn't computing through the channel. So I was like, let me go over on YouTube and see if they posted the thing. And thank God y'all did. So it gives the show more context and y'all could actually see, the whole situation. So I don't know if I think people look at Alaska in a situation of a guilt by association type thing because she's associated with Will and people feel like she's participating and agreeing. I don't necessarily agree with that because I feel like if I'm doing a show with a co-host and we have a good rapport and they have an issue, but I don't, I'm going to allow you to say what you want to say. But then again, knowing me and how y'all see me on this show, I work at some situations play devil's advocate. But I feel like in certain situations where Willam was talking about, oh yeah, I was being antagonistic in certain parts, she was owning up to certain things, but she was also giving her side of the story. Now, it's only a matter of time before anybody else comes out and says anything before, we can come to a group. But I doubt it. I feel like World of Wonder, them people ain't going to say nothing about it. They just going to let it rock because they got bigger fish to fry. They got more Emmys to win since that's your primary concern. And so I think DragCon in LA is unconventional. Who really wants to book a flight to LA in July, especially when this is the summer is around the time of year that queens are booked and busy. Pride goes on for like half a year. Pride goes on well into November. So why are they going to waste all that time? So if y'all would have had it like in March or whatever, I could understand them doing the whole DragCon thing because it's early spring. But once the summer hits, these queens are being booked and busy all over in different parts of the world and the United States doing events. Why the hell would they want to sit and spend a shit ton of money on a booth and merch and all that other stuff and coming to DragCon when the people at DragCon be mad cheap? Because all they care about is hoarding all the money for themselves. Saying it's a reenactment of a French painting in Greek mythology. And so I don't know why, but all my fave queens from the show were on the problematic watch list. Nina Bonita Brown is my number one fave. Evie, Willam, Gia. Yeah, it just seems like I think it's because you probably like people who have strong personalities and tell it like it is. Hence, I guess why you watch this show. So that could be it because I like Willam, I like Evie, I like Gia, Tyra's a mess, but these are people who have no problem, not biting their tongue for nothing. They don't give a damn. They're not gonna be, well, the show's gonna keep me from working out in the world. They're gonna, they have power and control over it. So it's like, no, I'm gonna say what the fuck I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna still get booked. And so how long do you give it until the surviving Child, I wouldn't be surprised because you know what? We got Surviving everything else. I would not be surprised if a story comes out about the Surviving Drag Race. And then on top of that, I'm really interested in hearing about what this lawsuit is because I remember hearing something or another about that urine bottles was left on set and they had to dump it and there was stuff going on. So I really need to know what this lawsuit entails because if there is one coming, the gay bloggers is going to talk about it. So I said, aren't there more problematic queens that have gotten away with stuff like that? Absolutely. That's why I was saying earlier in the show. It's like, when I did as media, when I was at the last New York DragCon that they had, literally, I was in the circus at the time. And this is crazy. It was in the circus at the time. I literally spoke to my boys who actually we came up together in New York because we both was from New York. Like he had things to do because he was in the nightlife scene. And he had things to do that weekend. So literally Friday and Saturday, I came down think I stayed with my parents those 2 days because I was like, I just need to be somewhere for like a good, without having to pay for a hotel or whatever. So I was like, let me just crash at your place. Just need a place to sleep because I need to do press media stuff over the weekend, and then I'm gonna just run my ass back up to, um, New Jersey to do circus stuff. So I remember, yeah, so that's what I was basically doing at the time. So, and then all the people that I said that was there, like Gia, who literally my friend was, lend her a part of his booth because he was trying to do photography stuff and things weren't working out the way he had planned. So it was like, so Gia and him kind of came and joined forces and was like, you know what? Even though you have a booth or whatever, he was a photographer. He basically just uses the opportunity as like, they'll split the proceeds. She got her team and everything. They came up, they did a meet and greet and all this other stuff. And he just did the photographs of the fans coming up and doing the meet and greets, and then they took it from there. And then also in that was around the time when Cameron Michaels and Boomer Banks were hanging out, and they came up in our booth too. There's all this stuff coming out off the top of my head now that I'm thinking about it. And it's oh, you tagged me in TikTok again. Let me see what you sent. Yeah, how come I don't see anything? I'll have to check it later. But I'm getting a lot of messages and a lot of followers. So it's a lot going on. But anyway, let me focus on the show because I'm probably gonna have to make another cut. Because of the timing and all that other stuff that's going on right now, I'm probably gonna have to cut the All Stars 10 topic and save it for tomorrow because I already know there's a lot of queens that we got to talk about. It's going to be a lot of conversation in regards to that we could break down something to set up. And I realize that it's probably going to take longer. And like I said, I do not want to be late seeing Sleepaway Camp at the IFC Theater. So, um, we're just going to focus on 3 more topics. Well, we're going to talk about Drag Race, the finale, and we're going to talk about Morphine. So those are going to be the final topics. And then we will do the thing. So now let's talk about Detox because apparently she's mad. And I know y'all have seen Drag Race by now. It's funny because like literally after I got out of Deadpool and Wolverine, I got a message from Felix and he was like, did you watch the Drag Race episode yet? I was like, no. And literally I was hanging out it was a long story. I was hanging out in the area and I was like, I need to kill time because I had to go to work later. So I was just like, let me just hang out in the little park area, whatever, by Lincoln Square, because that's where I usually go to see movies. And then I'm like, I need to find some way to wear it with shade because I had on my black Deadpool and Wolverine shirt, which I wanted to wear today, but I had to wash it. So I'll probably wear it tomorrow. So I wear my the sun was on my back. And I'm like, oh no, this heat is just So I need to find some shades that I could watch that. And then I was like, around as soon as he mentioned it, I was like, let me just watch it. So I watched it on my phone. After watching it, I feel like I ain't missed anything. First of all, the Kamala Harris vote thing, I know it was filmed last year, but it just felt so tacked on and it just felt disingenuous. And I'm not saying it's necessarily Kamala's fault. I think it was just the way production, whatever, they had her read that corny shit off the teleprompter. And then it just felt very contrived and fake. Not just from her, but just even down to Lance Bass and everybody else up in there in that whole situation. Even Leslie Jones, like everything about that just felt so fake and control. I'm like, come on, this Disney-fied bullshit. It's just like Drag Race is starting to turn me off in the way the production interference is kind of irritating me. And look, shout out to Angeria. I'm glad she won. It was all about the charity and stuff. If we talking about charity stuff, Angeria did the thing in regards to the whole charity. She seemed like the most charitable out of all the other girls. But one of the things I'm going to say about with Detox, I'm with her on this. It felt like y'all set typical production crap. Y'all are out here baiting, what is it? Rage baiting the fans of this show. Where it's like y'all set these people up to win. And then when it comes down to it, you're going to go the opposite direction. Because they felt like prior the seasons, it felt predictable and like who was going to be the winners of other seasons or whatever. So we're going to talk about most charitable. I do agree, like Angeria was the one who deserved to win and stuff. But the way y'all was playing around in our faces and set up, and first of all, that 2-part finale was unnecessary. The 1 hour thing where y'all made over the crew and then sitting up in there being all sappy and stuff, the show was gotten so corny with that because y'all worried about the fandom being pissed off. And look, one of the people that was just as mad was Detox, and I knew she would be because if y'all watch Roscoe's viewing party when she was on there last week, because they had to call her because Thorgy Thor something happened, and then Thorgy wound up showing up halfway through the episode. I think it was something that happened with her flight. But when Detox came on, she was like, look, if my girl Roxy don't win, then we gonna riot. And quiet as it's kept, some people say that the way that Roxy be on the show, like in regards to her performance, she don't be performing like that in her own bars in Florida. Well, I don't know because I don't go there, but if somebody from the people who out there in Florida say she don't be performing like that, well, obviously y'all need to realize it's a TV show. So RuPaul's Drag Race legend Detox has seemingly ruled out any future appearances on the franchise following the outcome of All Stars 9. And here come the spoilers. But I already told y'all there was injury. So if y'all ain't know, my bad. Now, fan favorite queen Detox, who first appeared on season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2013 before reappearing for All Stars 2 the following year, both times alongside Roxy Andrews, has been hinting at a third All Stars run for a while. However, the queen herself has said she's no longer interested following the result of All Stars 9. While Roxy, who is Detox's closest friend, was widely considered for the frontrunner and favorite for the crown, it was season 14's Angeria Paris Van Michaels who snatched the place in the third Drag Race Hall of Fame. And it was 3 of them. So for those who, it was Roxy, Angeria, and Vanjie. That was your top 3. Which I was shocked because I wasn't expecting Vanjie. And if we're going to talk about that lip sync, first of all, the lip sync was a hot ass mess. Why the hell did they pick Rhythm Nation? It was like, of all the songs in the world, y'all pick Rhythm Nation. I'm like, this don't even go with the whole final lip sync theme, whatever. Like, that's a song about social injustice. Why would they be up there doing that? And to me, if we're talking about the choreography, if we're going to talk about lip syncs and performance, Vanjie A out of all of them. Quiet as it's kept. My favorite performance of the night during their final performance, whatever the case was, when they were showing all the queens doing their little dances, performance, whatever. I live for Plastique with the glow-in-the-dark knives or whatever. And I was here for, Vanjie was good too with her little rap song. She was giving me little Kim T's. And that I was like, you know what? If she get her some co-writers or whatever, Vanjie could be like the drag queen equivalent of Cardi B, where it's just like her personality, her vernacular, the way she carries herself and stuff, you could parlay that into a rap career. And she could definitely have some performance. Like, she could dance her ass off. She gives hairography down boots. And if she team up with the right group of writers or whatever, she definitely could be out here coming out with some bops. So I could definitely see that for Vanjie. I hope she sees that and decides to capitalize, because I definitely liked her performance. And then also, I lived for Georges in regards of her performance, especially when he did that thing and then slid her across the stage ever so effortlessly, and she was doing the hair with that was just a cackle for me. Georges is definitely that girl when it comes to the personality and being good for TV. But I agree. I expected Roxy was going to be the winner. And I like Angeria. And I have people who know her and told me things about her and said, like, Angeria is, lovely and everything. And I like that she is. I don't like the fact that y'all be setting these queens up because y'all want to sit up in here and self-produce, but y'all want to tick off the fans. But then when it come down to the winners, of course, y'all be on social media ready to be disrespectful and nasty towards Angeria when she doesn't deserve it. So this is what Detox said. Nope. And saying, the itch is gone, playing in my girl Roxy's face. In reply to a fan, Detox was also quick to indicate how pleased she was for Angeria's win, writing, "Don't get me wrong, so happy for her. I adore her. I can also be disappointed and heartbroken for my babe." And I agree with that. It's like, don't get mad that that Detox is giving her feelings for Roxy. She's biased in a way because she's close with Roxy. Just like a friend of mine is close with Angeria and can, feel the way that he feels. That, you know, she was well deserved, and I like Roxy, but she really wasn't giving it in regards of like that last lip sync performance. Because if you're saying this is the final chance to impress me, then what's the point of the what is the point of the lip sync when you've already had it in your mind who you want to win? So to me, it just sounds pointless. There's a lot of shit that goes on Quiet as It's Kept on Drag Race that's just pointless, in my opinion. In another post, she added also a reminder that runways mean garbage because Plastique urinated and defecated all over that stage. Which is true, because it was like some people say, oh, Plastique should have won. I'm like, for what? Because Plastique was the one that really came with the fashion. She's the one who's the one I feel like makes the most money out of all them girls on that show, because, you know, she's very popular on social media. And Plastique definitely brought the fashions in regards to the runway. But if that was the win, then what's the point of the show? Like that, and then the show basically be a drag equivalent Project Runway, which partially it is. So Detox has previously spoken about her desire to return to the workroom after a few years ago from the franchise. And this was what, you know, she revealed on Roscoe's viewing party. She was like, you know, for the few times she's already been on there this season, she was like, that I want to be I'm kind of getting the itch, but now after this, and she's seeing what they doing over at Drag Race and what it's giving, like, y'all production is playing in our face. Then she's like, I have no interest. She said, having Sasha Colby on and so many other friends on, I miss that camaraderie in the workroom. I miss the fun of it. It's new and exciting. For years, I was like, no, fuck them. And now I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So, you know, it is what it is. If y'all want other shows to watch, we got Global All Stars about to come out in a couple of weeks. Canada versus the World just released their second episode, which I have not gotten around to watching yet. I've only seen that first episode. I did watch Drag Race France, the finale last night. First of all, that episode was just 90 minutes long for no damn reason. I was so bored with France. I'm glad that you know, they have the person that won, but overall, the whole episode just bored me. I was bored with Drag Race France. So I'll say all this to say, I definitely feel you, what you're going on. Don't send Angeria hate because it's unnecessary. It's not her fault. She's not the one, you know, they show up, they do the show, they do the competition. It is what it is. And in a way, I'm glad that they're going back to eliminations in All Stars 10, like I said, because of situations. We'll talk about that in the next episode, the breakdown of who's allegedly on All Stars 10. But for now, I would like to know what you guys think of this story. Do you feel where Detox is coming from in regards to, you know, all the other stuff that's going on? And before I forget, because I want to put this picture up for a second, let's give Miss Angeria her flowers. Kudos to her for winning All Stars 9. And I'm curious to, you know, for All Stars 10 and beyond and all the other stuff. But yeah, y'all got to stop with this whole overproducing of this damn show. Y'all getting on my nerves with that. So anyway, excuse me. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. It said Angeria was the third girl on the list of not beasts with Nina and Chanel. Not to be shady, but this could have helped her chances of winning against Roxy. And it's a homophobe, and Steve Ricks is saying that barebacking things are problematic for straight people. So word is, if the top is gay for pay, condoms are gonna whatever. First of all, y'all don't get why y'all gonna sit up here and control what people do in adult entertainment. I do think it's wrong that Roxy was the clear fan favorite and winner in everyone's eyes, and they just crowned Angeria and set her up to get old. Absolutely. And that's the thing that annoys me too. It's like, yeah, y'all gaslit your audience into thinking like, yeah, she's a clear winner, and we're all thinking they're gonna say Roxy. And on everyone's lips, it's Roxy. You know, shout out to I was gonna say Cabaret, to Chicago. And you know, that y'all set it up this whole season where y'all were just stroking it. Wait until the season finale. We know we're gonna make everybody think that it's Roxy gonna win, and we're gonna give it to Angeria. And then you got the racist damn fan base gonna go up there and just start sending her all that. No, we're not gonna do that. Like, don't send people y'all hate because you mad over who won. First of all, I always look at this show. That's why I don't take Drag Race serious. At the end of the day, it's all a bunch of BS. That's why people like Joey Mills, Boomer, Chirac are saying this is why OnlyFans is needed. Mainstream sites set up heterosexual people more than openly gay men. I make more money. Well, look, this is why a lot of the gays are using other alternatives. OnlyFans is trash right now. So, most of the gays are on just for fans. Yeah, they use OnlyFans and stuff for the people that still follow them, and they put a lot of their tamer stuff on there. But for the most part, people are on just for fans. Now, for my fans, I don't know what's still going on with that with Austin Wolf, but for the most part, people are on just for fans. Happy at all having sex with someone I'm not attracted to, even if the money is. But okay, look, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep that coin coming in. All three of them didn't match the vibe to Rhythm Nation. Roxy was the closest. Yeah, because she was attempting to do the choreography and she was giving hair and all stuff. To me, per usual, Rhythm Nation was the wrong song choice. What's crazy is that that's why I said, you know what, I got an idea for a drag show. And that's why I was like, there needs to be a competing drag show out there that, speaking of stepping pussies up, I feel like that's what's needed over there with Drag Race. Y'all need something to give y'all a swift kick in the behind. Because y'all just trying to act like y'all the best in show and the only show that needs to exist. And it's like, you're pissing a lot of the legendary fan base, or as the legendary fan base, or as my girl Nikki Doll would say, "Legendaire." So, you're pissing like the old school heads off, where it's like y'all trying to push us out, and they're trying to gear the show towards the younger crowd. They're like, I get it that the queens are getting younger and younger and younger, which is, excuse me, also making RuPaul feel like a fish out of water, because y'all be doing all these references to people, and they don't even know, like, they didn't even know who the fuck Leslie Graham was. Lindsey Graham, sorry. Lesbian Graham, as I should call her, or him, depending on whatever gender he won't be that day. Speaking of cat ladies, the queens ain't know who Lindsey Graham was. So it's like y'all keep using these old references, and a lot of these kids don't know who these people are. And they can't do the research. Y'all take their phone and stuff away. At least there's another black girl in the winner's circle. The only black girl in the All Stars 9 cast at that. And don't get me wrong, because we know the whole thing with Black Lives Matter and everything starting. And that's why I feel like it's no shade. But Monet got that sympathy win. Because they was going to give it to Trinity. But because of all the controversy and stuff that was going on, and other people, World of Wonder caved in production, caved into the fan outcry, and that's why there was that split. There was no plan for them to do a split, and even down to that was as poorly edited as that lip sync where they had all three of them lip syncing. But of course, they shot it 3 damn times, and they was all up on that stage by themselves. If you was paying attention, even Ray Charles could have seen that. And in the words of my girl Kennedy Davenport, he's blind and dead. So I guess it shows Viacom will not allow sexual Janet to play. Still haven't forgotten her, I see. I don't know. I just feel like they could have picked a much more look, y'all could have picked Sia's Unstoppable or something. Like, you needed something compelling for these women. It's like, even in the finale of Drag Race France, they had a Celine Dion song they sang. So they could have figured out something, but no, Rhythm Nation was not the song that y'all should have been choosing. There hasn't been a single girl born in the 21st century on the U.S. series of Drag Race. UK has 2001 girls. I'm surprised CBS Paramount even allows Janet to be. Yeah, exactly. Same thing with you and Robert saying, it's like, yeah, I'm shocked because the way y'all be running around here throwing shade at Miss Jackson. I'm surprised y'all using her. Speaking of which, damn, I forgot. I believe I heard something who they said they was gonna get the Icon Award at the VMAs. I think they said, but then they said Katy Perry or somebody. Cheryl, y'all really trying to push this whole Katy Perry thing down our throat. Allegedly. But I guess we're going to find out soon, because September's right around the corner, and they are actually doing the VMAs at the USB Theater, which my company is affiliated with. My union is affiliated with them. I could get a job and work that one, but I was like, mm-mm. And I live not too far from the UBS Theater. I said USB. UBS. So do you think Jada was a sympathy win? She won before Black Lives Matter in 2020. I need to rewatch that season. I just felt like that whole season was a mess because of COVID. But no, I think Jada was the right choice. I gotta yeah, I need to rewatch that season. I'll probably change my tune. Right now, I told you I'm on the Alexis Michelle season with Trinity and um Peppermint and Pheromone and all of them. And Lady Gaga was in the premiere as Ronnie. So I'm guessing they chose Rhythm Nation to go along with the whole charity vibe. You know what? That could be it. But yeah, it's just like the whole charity, that's like that. And then the Kamala Harris thing in the beginning, I get it, that they were using that as a way to kind of big up the whole, because this is voting season. I get that's why they were doing, but I don't know, it just felt out of place for some reason, even though, it was perfect timing because of what Kamala is now in politics, being the presidential nominee. It just felt weird and off. Yeah, me too. Shout out to Janet. Or the janitors, I guess is what they call a fan base. But yeah, like what Anna said, because I didn't put your other clip, you said Katy Perry most likely. I think she is going to be the when getting the icon situation. They said, I'm hearing also Lady Gaga as the Tricon Award. Was it Video Vagal? What, are they changing the name? They could come up with a new word, like an icon award, tricon award. Look, they got to pull something because MTV ain't played music videos in over a decade. So they got to figure out something in regards of, getting people interested in watching their show. Okay, so now let's get to our final topic because, I had to make a lot of cuts in today's show. Let's give an update on Miss Morphine, who was giving an update on her status in the hospital. So, she was injured in a car. Speaking of what we were talking about DragCon, that I think it's Sunday, 3:00 in the morning, something or another. She was admitted to the hospital because there was a pileup on the road. I believe somebody had died from their injuries. They were stuck in the car, whatever. There was like a huge car accident on the highway. And she was one of the people that was involved in the accident. So we've got an update and they said that it was shared on Tsunami Muse's Instagram. There was a photo in her stories. So 5 other were injured alongside Morphe in the accident on the 10 freeway in the Jefferson Park area of Los Angeles. This is what local news sources reported. Now, on Wednesday, the 24th of July, fellow season 16 cast member Tsunami Muse said, our sister is good and out of the hospital, with an image of an Instagram story of her holding Morphine's hand. And I don't think it exists obviously, if it's in the story or whatever, it's not going to be there no more. But it gives a link in the article. Shout out to Pink News for this story. They do have a screenshot. I'm gonna try to show it to y'all in a second after I read the article. But it says that making a speedy recovery, keep sending her love, Muse wrote, adding "Te amo, hermana," Morphine, which translates as "I love you, sister." Do we really need a translation? As a statement was released on Morphine's Instagram story shortly after the crash. Now, Morphine was in a serious car accident while on the Uber. It read she suffered multiple injuries, but is grateful to be alive. Also heard that she has a broken jaw at this point. Please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. Some space and time is appreciated as she focuses on healing. Now, Chaos has not shared a further update because Chaos was doing a shoot. Was involved in an accident. And one of my friends that was telling me the tea on this about Morphine's injuries and all this other stuff also told me that Chaos, they were supposed to do a shoot with them as well. So it said, I'm okay. I've just been on bed rest. I'll be making a post explaining what happened. Once I am in the right headspace, I can explain it all. Now, in a statement to Entertainment Weekly, Uber even came out and said, our hearts go out to everyone impacted by this gut-wrenching crash. We are working to get in touch with the driver and riders to check on their well-being. Now, both Morphine and Chaos have been fan favorites at the fan convention, DragCon, in LA before the crash. The pair have continued to be supported by well wishes from fans and Drag Race stars, including season 16 runner-up Safira Cristal. So let me share the photo, and this is because it's a pretty long one, but I was like, yeah, y'all can pretty much get the gist that obviously the one with the bandage on the hand is Morphine, and then the other hand is obviously Tsunami. So yeah, that was a photo that she posted on her stories, and it's not in the whole thing. But I'm glad somebody screenshot it and put it on social, in their articles or whatever, so that way they can use it for context, or whatever. I'm, at this point, wishing Morphine a speedy recovery. I'm sure that the bills is going to be crazy, especially because you know what happened. And I told y'all from this point out, because I don't be wearing my seatbelt when I be in the back seat of Ubers, I'm definitely going to have to take my life in these situations a little more serious, because I just be in the back luxuriating and on my phone and minding my business like I'm being escorted around like I got my own personal chauffeur and be in my own world. But it's like, yeah, things happen. You can't necessarily always think that, yeah, you're going to make it safe from point A to point B. That accidents happen, things happen, and we got to be more mindful. I'll speak for me in the situation that happened. I don't know what happened with Morphine, and if she didn't have a seatbelt on or had it on, I don't know that. But I'm talking about for me, when I be thinking about this, because hearing the story, it made me think that it's like, yeah, I got to be careful and be more thoughtful in the way I do things, especially when I get in the back of Ubers and that whole situation. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Shout out to you, Morphine. We're rooting for you to get a speedy recovery so that way you can come back to you can continue to go out here and show these girls how you be performing up in these clubs. Get up in this gig, sis. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so it says, someone said Taylor Swift is rumored to be getting artist of the millennial and 21st century. Britney is rumored to get the artist who failed her generation in the industry. Could you imagine? That is a cackle. They said that Britney is rumored to get the artist who failed her generation. Look, there's too much of like, okay, they're just giving out awards to, as a way to get people to come, because that's what it feels like with MTV at this point. Oh, y'all coming up with all these different awards to give. You want to give one to Katy Perry, allegedly. You want to give one to Taylor Swift and all these other people just so you can get them to show up. And Taylor Swift will show up to anything, and they know it's a guaranteed ratings boost. So I'm not buying it. And a lot of that. But it was like, you just know Drag Race producers are salivating at the idea to bring her back for All Stars because the comeback storyline, of course. So it was like, while I get it that, we care about these girls, whatever the case was, at the end of the day, they're all about making good television and producing good television. So to see Morphine come on the show and really open up about her accident and get vulnerable, and they get to close in, the cameras get to zoom in on her tears coming down while she's reliving this moment and being vulnerable for the sake of ratings, they're gonna, the producers are gonna eat it up. But then they really gonna have to toe a line, because if it's gonna to make sure it doesn't come off a little too exploitative, because then people will come and the fans will go in and drag y'all for being so obvious, like they usually have been so obvious with every damn thing. They're gonna feel like you doing that with this. So there's that. Okay, so we are at the end of our show. And yes, I'll be back on tomorrow to give y'all a little more tea, depending on what other topics I will go to touch on the show, topics that we didn't do today, as well as anything else that gets added to the docket within the next 24 hours. So please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and smash that notification button so that way when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Unless you ain't got any more questions, comments, and concerns, I'm logging off so I can get the hell out of here and change my clothes so I can get my behind to this sleepaway camp screening at 40th anniversary screening at the IFC Theater in Manhattan, and get my butt to that. And we'll talk about that whole situation tomorrow on the show. So thank you all for everybody who was in the comments or section, conversing with me during the show. Shout out to Roro, Onyx, Robert, Felix, and everybody else. We had Ron up in here, Felix, child, I'll be forgetting. Miss Taro. And everybody else that I may have missed. Who else we had? Oh, Sailor Mermaid. I don't even know if she up in here with Justina Timber Pussy, as she was calling Miss Mamas earlier. That's gonna be my drag name. Justina Timber Pussy. We had Ron, Adrian, and a whole lot more. So thank you all. I'll be back on tomorrow. And love you all for watching. Till next time. Ciao, darlings.